It is 6 o'clock. Good morning. Live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans got their first chance to use the top priority in the waiver order yesterday, and they used it, acquiring 4 players. Cornerback Jalen Armour-Davis, linebacker Dorian Mausi, defensive lineman C.J. Ravenel, and cornerback Samuel Womack. The Titans also officially signed defensive tackle Shai Tuttle to his one-year deal. In response to those moves, the team released center Corey Levin, who started throughout all of training camp, and they also waived defensive tackle Timmy Horn, linebacker Curtis Jacobs, cornerback Gabe Judy Lowley, offensive lineman John Ojukwu. The Titans also named 14 players to their practice squad yesterday, including wide receivers Xavier Restrepo, James Prochet, and Mason Kinsey. In other Titans news, Titans named 7 captains for the 2025 season. Quarterback Cam Ward, wide receiver Calvin Ridley, running back Tony Pollard, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, safety Amani Hooker, linebacker Cody Barton, and long snapper Morgan Cox. Today, the Titans GM, Mike Bergonzi, will speak to the media at 10 a.m. this morning ahead of practice, which starts at 10:30. And then head coach Brian Callahan and select players will be available immediately following practice. You can hear those interviews right here on 104.5 The Zone and the Buck Rising Show. In other NFL news, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is being suspended without pay for the first 6 games of the season for violating the league's personal conduct policy as a result of his high-speed car crash in 2024. Rice will be eligible for reinstatement on October 13th for Week 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Thursday morning to you in Music City and around the world. You're listening to Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Scooter's Coffee is locally owned in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. They bring us to you. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. We bring you to them. VFL, Vol Network analyst and 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster is present and accounted for. Justin Hawkins is our producer. I'm Will Bowling. Coming up, Coach Dave McGinnis at 7:20 talks about the new Titans 53-man roster. Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, his first weekly visit with us on a Tennessee game week at 8:20. And the Thursday 3 returns at hour 4 this morning as we give you picks against the spread for the football weekend, which Ramon Foster starts tonight. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Can't wait, man. We officially got somebody on the line right now. No, never mind. We officially got football. We got
It's a different station that's on our screen right now for some reason.
Okay, never mind. Squirrel. That's all it was. For me.
Somebody was really eager to talk to us this morning.
So it's just like, dang, man. But I'm super excited for this upcoming weekend. I'm getting all my ducks in a row, man. I tried on the new shoes that you suggested to me, the On Runnings, man. And they are comfortable. It might be the weekend wear, man, is what I'm thinking. Shout out to you for that suggestion right there, man. You get something right every once in a while, Willie, and I like that from time to time.
Every now and then.
Every now and then, man.
That is a free shout-out. What is an even better shout-out for us to make this morning is the new stuff from Volunteer Traditions that we have for this Tennessee game week. I got the lightweight hoodie on today. We got hooked up yesterday.
Yes, we did.
And we are lucky, Ramon, to be able to work with so many businesses and brands that we were already giving our business to anyway. And between Scooter's Coffee and Volunteer Traditions and so many of our other ones, just to name a few to start, I might as well own stock in Volunteer Traditions already. And I feel like I own more stock as of yesterday. This stuff is sweet, and we are so appreciative of our friends there for being partners with us this football season.
Straight up, man. I was telling them yesterday, I was like, I just put an order in, and here we are getting more of the stuff that I'm appreciative of, man. I tell you what, though, I'm set for the season. If Keisha sees another box come in that door, she gonna lose her mind. Do you hear me? Between the white and orange or orange and white shoes, or hey, these will just be comfortable for me. You know, I'll be standing up, or just like the khakis.
That's a classic as well.
I'm a shopping guy. Do you hear me? From time to time, like I go through dry spells for a long time, but then I catch that little itch. The itch right now has been hoodie season. And I got another website that I like to use to buy stuff too, and they got a sale going on. So it's usually on sale, is what I will tell you.
Thoughts and prayers.
Listen, first world problems, Will. That is exactly what it is. Moving on, kind of the same way they did yesterday with the roster changes. Boom.
Great transition, Ramon Foster. Great transition. Tennessee Titans made the following transactions yesterday to the practice squad. They add Kendall Brooks, Cam Horsley, Jamar Jefferson, Isaiah Rakes, Xavier Estrepo, Andrew Rupsich, and Mason Kinsey. Also, Ollie Gay and Jordan Mims, who are exception additions, signed to the practice squad. What does that mean, Ramon?
Exception additions? I think the ones that are protected, if I'm not mistaken, Will. Yes, they can have a few that are protected.
Signed to the practice squad in the veteran context, Amani Oruwariye, James Prochet, Trevor Simeon, and Carlos Watkins, and international pathway player Thomas Odukoya. That is 2 players light because, according to reports, they will also add Corey Levin to the practice squad, in addition to undrafted rookie Clay Webb. 4 waiver claims made. We made the predictions yesterday on how many players they would add. I said 3 waiver claims, 4 players. You said 2. Justin, how many did you say again?
I said 4 or 5.
You said 4 or 5. So Justin gets it right on the amount of waiver additions they made. We're going to get into those coming up in just a moment. But what was the most significant move yesterday to you, Ramon? What was the roster reshuffling move that caught your eye the most?
You just see so much happening and the familiar faces from time to time. I did not see them letting go of John Njoku. I thought his importance was way higher than I guess under this regime than it was the last one. You developed the guy, kept him in-house. It was that one and the releasing of Corey Levin, I thought, too. That one was fascinating to me. Corey Levin, John Njoku were interesting to me. Just in general, that, especially Njoku, I think, yesterday, too, because I thought he'd play a bigger role with this squad. But that's about it. I knew 11 was too many yesterday, but I didn't see Levin being one of those guys being let go. But if you look at the way this team is set up with the guys that they have, it's balanced there. I figured they go after another D lineman. I don't know a whole lot about CJ Revenell.
I'll tell you in a few minutes.
I did see that happening at some point. All in all, this team was set. I even still look at the guys that they added, and I say to myself, yeah, those guys make sense, and they're just going to be role guys that fit into what the grand scheme of this team is. So yeah, that was my surprises. I thought yesterday. I knew they couldn't keep 11. I was just shocked at the 2 that they let go.
Meaning 11 offensive linemen who were on the initial 53-man roster. According to reports, Corey Levin is sticking around on the practice squad.
Yep.
There is a little bit of roster gymnastics going on there that we're going to talk about with Corey and I think with another veteran player that we've already mentioned a little bit. But this was the part of the process that I think was really interesting to me, Ramon, is who do we need to protect by keeping them on the 53-man roster that we don't want to risk going to waivers or going through that process and being claimed by someone else? And what positions become most valuable in the waiver process? We discussed inside linebacker. They got one of those. We talked about cornerback 6. They got one of those. We talked about defensive line / edge. They kind of addressed both with the one move that they made there. We talked about youth on the offensive line and maybe a long-term backup. They've added one of those to the practice squad. And really they addressed corner twice, which is interesting. And now it looks like they're going to be a little bit heavier at corner than we originally suspected with a couple of the additions that they made, which, again, we'll talk about in just a few minutes. But this is the roster reshuffling that you have the luxury of doing when you have the number 1 pick, number 1 spot in the waiver order. And this is a benefit to the lower end of the roster. Jalen Armour-Davis, if he stays healthy, is not a lower end of the roster guy either. That guy can help them. This was from Tom Pelissero yesterday, or excuse me, Mike Garafolo, one of the other Italians who are at NFL Network, says new Titans corner Jalen Armour-Davis was a popular guy on waivers. The Eagles, Saints, and Dolphins also put in claims for the former Ravens defensive back, but the Titans had the number 1 priority. That's a win. That's a good sign. that is a big positive for this team. They got a lot better in the cornerback position yesterday.
He did. He got brought up yesterday, I feel like, on this show, man, when who was it? The Colts that cut him, correct? No, Ravens.
Baltimore.
Ravens, yes. He got brought up yesterday. I
The
know
old Colts.
Rhett came in here earlier, our good teammate here, and he was excited about this signing too. It's a matter of keeping him healthy is the biggest issue that you're running into with some of these guys. And change of scenery may do it. I do know this. And I say this as a fan of this when I mention this next statement, man, but Baltimore has a very physical style. Baltimore has a very physical practice etiquette. They have trends to where Coach Harbaugh, he gets it out. I know a few guys that have gone there and just say, yeah, you thought you had it hard in Pittsburgh, but Coach Harbaugh and his staff, they get after it. So I'm not sure if that's something that needs to be changed for him. Not to say that he's not physical, but if you hit more times than the average team does at his size, I mean, it can have some bearings on you. It got him listed, 6'1", about 200 pounds?
It's a long corner.
Yeah, long corner, man. So it'll be fascinating to see what they do with him, considering they've had guys with similar injuries, and having LeJarry Sneed be able to be a mentor to a guy like this, be able to say, hey, you should switch this up. You should change this, because having played against those guys in Baltimore, they will get after it, and nothing else matters until you can't walk off the field.
Yeah, he's a long physical corner who has familiarity with Denard Wilson.
Yeah, yes, that part.
Checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, he does.
We'll tell you what the scouting reports are for the 5 newest Tennessee Titans. 4 of them we know in an official capacity. The other one a little bit more unofficial, but team's still working on it. So we will give you the latest on all of those guys when we come back. 615-737-1045. Live for the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. The latest on the newest Titans next. Hey, it's Will Bullock. I want to tell you about my new obsession, Daisy French onion dip. Look, football season is back. One of my guilty pleasures during the football season, dips of any kind. Oh, I love myself a dip. Whether it's chips, whether it's wings, maybe a couple of vegetables mixed in there every now and then. Look, we're being healthy still during football season as well. Daisy French onion dip. Daisy just came out with this, and it is terrific. The Daisy Ranch dip as well. Total game changer. Here's the thing. You bring these to the tailgate. You put them in a nondescript container, just whatever bowl you got lying around, Tupperware, you name it. People are going to think you made a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices plus other ingredients that you'd find in your own kitchen. Look, I'm headed down to a tailgate down in Atlanta this weekend, and I'm going to be right there with the Daisy French onion dip. Check it out at a grocery store near you. Delicious, homemade taste. You got to give Daisy French onion dip a try. Look for it at a grocery store near you. Thursday morning in Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Around these parts, we call it Friday Junior. Look, there's college football on tonight. This is definitely a Friday Junior.
Yes, it is, Will Lee. I'm excited to be at this point in the year, in the calendar, man. By the way, I know we don't like to do the meteorologist thing, man, because we got real people that do that type of stuff. But next Friday, high of 63, dog.
Wow.
No, I figured you'd
All
like
right.
to know that. Like, you love to know that.
I'm glad I got this lightweight hoodie from Volunteer
That's
Traditions.
what I'm saying. And I got my hockey jersey on. I'll probably wear some Vol Trad tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Fantastic.
Walking through the airport type of thing, man. So go Vols, and let's get to this work, Will. We got some real tangible football this weekend.
Corner Jalen Armour Davis was the big addition yesterday by the Titans, who make 4 moves on the waiver wire with the top spot. Players with less than 3 years and 3 games, Ramon, that correct?
3 years and 3 games.
Are subject to waivers, who are not vested veterans. And we expected the Titans to address a couple of big needs. Defensive line, linebacker, corner. They did all of that yesterday. Starting with 2021 4th-round pick out of Alabama, Jalen Armour Davis. He has really been snake-bitten by injury. And for someone that has familiarity with Denard Wilson, who, again, like we just mentioned before the break, was claimed by Philadelphia, New Orleans, and Miami. He led the NFL in pass deflections during the preseason, had an interception against Washington last week in the preseason, excellent speed, a 4.39 at the NFL Combine. He entered the year needing a good camp, spent some time even working at safety. He's played mostly wide corner, but has some reps at slot as well. Ramon, what stands out to you about his resume?
Size, the length of it, having the ability to have you a Snead clone in the sense of the young man can stay healthy, Will. That's what you're looking for. And then, of course, like I said, sometimes you recruit out of Alabama, you recruit out of Texas, Michigan, like you know where certain programs people come from. And I think the same thing can be said, too, about a Baltimore situation, right? You look at that and you say to yourself, well, I know he understands how to read defenses and play. The understanding, I look at the traits of guys coming from certain places, how they hold themselves, and that standard that you have to meet for this guy to be cut the way he is right now. I'm actually going through trying to see if I can see their team draftees this year, see if they had a direct replacement. And they did. This past year, they drafted, 2024, they drafted Nate Wiggins. Like, they have guys in place that they're trying to, I'm sure, grow. And injuries is a part of your pathway sometimes into how you're judged. And for a guy like him, you got to stay healthy, man. Not only just that, but Baltimore also picked up in the secondary Malachi Starks and Bilal Cohn, too. So, it's an ever-changing league. You got to stick your claim soon and early and often in this league. And if injuries is a part of it, man, look, we're sorry. We hate this for you. It's the same conversation we're having about Tajay Spears. Respectfully, we hope he gets back and have a good season and stay healthy. But, Will, that has to be factored in next year when they start planning for the draft and whatnot.
Sure. And I think, too, Ramon, you're more willing to take a risk on injury availability with your 6th corner.
Mm-hmm.
With a backup, right?
I got time with him.
You've got the luxury of saying, all right, maybe we don't give you a full workload right away. There's been different things that have bothered you. Let's make sure that you've got a training plan that works, the nutrition part of it, the sports science, all of those things. The Titans have invested so much more significantly in the thought process behind, hey, how do we get the right types of players in order to stay healthy, and the lean muscle mass and all of those things. So clearly, availability matters enough to them, Ramon, and a lot of the moves they've made this offseason, that it's either one of two things. They're more willing to take that risk with a player who is a depth corner, or 2, they believe that they have a plan that can keep Jalen Armour Davis healthier here than he was in Baltimore.
Right. And to your point, if this is your 6th guy on the roster right here, he doesn't have to be in the game day active, right? You let him warm himself up, get comfortable, and prove that he can understand this defense and contribute. And then from there, you start incorporating him in. I think everybody, and I say this, that as a Tennessee Titans fan or watch this team, they're nervous about L'Jarius. You got to go get guys that you think are high pedigree type dudes that will have the ability to contribute when their number is called. And I think he fits that bill, which is why I also think they went out and got, 2 cornerbacks yesterday. You're planning.
So Samuel Womack from Indianapolis is the other corner. And it's kind of funny, Ramon, how much he just reminds me of what Darrell Baker was when Darrell Baker initially joined the Titans. Titans claimed Darrell Baker last season from Indianapolis, and they did it again. Huh. And honestly, Baker being the long-term fill-in last year for Snead, in the same way that Samuel Womack last year was the long-term replacement for Juju Brents, who was claimed by Miami yesterday and not by the Titans. Fifth-round pick out of Toledo in 2022. We're going to talk about Toledo a little bit later and preview in some of the college football games this weekend. Toledo is a very strong MAC program.
Yes, they are.
Toledo develops pros. Toledo has gone the last 15 years without a losing season. There are certain mid-major programs, Ramon, in college football that catch your eye a little bit when guys come from there to say, okay, vetted, makes sense, works out.
You don't worry about them leveling up at all.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. 7 pass breakups last season, according to Pro Football Focus. Had interceptions against Bo Nix and Mason Rudolph.
Sure did.
A bit of a red flag to me, Ramon, that he couldn't make Indy's cornerback room because they have been so injured at corner that I'm asking, well, what was wrong there? I don't know the answer to that. Lou Anarumo, the new defensive coordinator, I also do think wants a different type of
That's
corner.
what I was going to say, yeah.
What type of corner do you think he wants?
Aggressive. Look at the ones that he's had.
Isn't that what we would want here, too?
It is, but Lou probably sees him differently and likes somebody else, though, too. Like, coaches do have their favors. I will say that. That was lightly the conversation. I meant to say this on Monday when we start talking about the Sanders and Gabriel situation up in Cleveland. Coaches do have their picks sometimes. Like, I think Stefanski likes Gabriel a little bit more. I know this. Coach Monchak likes me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have, parents probably have their favorite kids depending on the time of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on the time of the year. Everybody here is in that rotation. Your sister might be the summer.
Expect you to go that
She
direction.
might be the summertime fun, okay? Clara may be the summertime fun. You and Wes might end up being the fall kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. And I do think that's a part of it. Lou Anarumo, think about the guys that he's had, though. Pac-Man, Dre Kirkpatrick. Think about those types, Mike Hilton, aggressive types. And Denard probably sees them a little bit different. You want them in your room. And not only just that, this young man had a great game last year against the Titans. I've known coaches to go at guys who are like, hey, if that dude ever hits the market because of what he did against us, I got a crush on him. And if you look at what Sam Womack did last year against the Titans, he ate, and he ate really good, man. And if you look at his tape, too, you'll also see him being one of those lucky players. The ball always is in his vicinity. He knows how to get his hand in late. I don't think it's necessarily a type, a ball skill with the situation with him. I do think it's a type that coaches are looking for. Let me get my guys in here type of situation in Indy.
Talk about favorite kids before 7 a.m. Crazy. He originally beat out Dallas Flowers for playing time last year in Indy. Allowed a completion rate of 61%, 14.4 yards per catch. Graded out well as a run defender.
Yeah.
Last season, PFF graded him as the Colts' third best defensive player.
Which is crazy.
Again, just like Darrell Baker, backup, steps in, does a job, earns a bigger role somewhere else. 17 games played, 8 starts a season ago for Samuel Womack. So with that, the Titans cut Gabe Jeudy-Lally, or waive Gabe Jeudy-Lally, I should say. The full list of players they waived: Curtis Jacobs at linebacker, Timmy Horn at defensive line, Corey Levin, John Ajuku, and Gabe Jeudy-Lally. We'll talk about the Levin part of this coming up in a few minutes when we tell you about the new Titans practice squad linemen. But clearly there is an intent, Ramon, to have contingency plans in place if L'Jarius Sneed can't go, whether that's an early season contingency. To me, I think that's something you would just have for the entire season, to just always be a little bit heavier at corner. I think it's interesting. Armour Davis talked about the willingness in training camp to work out a little bit at safety and start to get some reps there. I'm curious how they deploy Jalen Armour Davis. To me, they can move him around. In a pinch, he can play corner. They may have packages for him to be more of a nickel. Because this team with Gabe Jeudy-Lally had him as the backup nickel. I'm curious who the second guy behind Roger McCreary is, because that's what we expect, right? If L'Jarius Sneed can't play for whatever reason, you have one of two options. You either bump Roger McCreary outside and bring in one of these other guys to play inside, or one of these other guys, Womack or Armour Davis, is just another outside corner that can step in as well.
Yes, no doubt about it.
So we'll find out.
We will. Next week, we'll get a little bit more of a game plan look at what they got going on, right?
That's right.
Yes. Zach, a resident Colts fan, said signing Mike Hilton today or this weekend.
Yeah, that always seemed to be a marriage that would make sense between Lou Anarumo and his old nickel corner, Mike Hilton.
Right. And that's probably why you end up having Sam Womack get cut too, right? Like you look at that scenario and you clearly say like they have plans on what they want that defense to look like, and maybe they have positioned already guys that they want to play his role that are younger.
And the Mike Hilton's camp probably would not have as much interest coming here because there is a nickel already here.
Yes,
in McCreary.
It is. I think McCreary plays a lot like Mike Hilton, to be honest with you. He ain't made the plays that Mike has, but he plays a lot like him.
Edge C.J. Ravenel from the Baltimore Ravens is a bit of a project. Claimed off of waivers by the Titans yesterday. Flashed a little bit in preseason. 7 pressures in 3 preseason games, according to Pro Football Focus. Last season, he was undrafted from Missouri Western. Spent last year on the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. He is a bigger guy. At the NFL Combine, measured at 6'5", 280 pounds. Only 11 reps on the bench, 5.07 in the 40. Dane Brugler had him as his number 92 edge rusher in last year's NFL draft. Long arms, Ramon. Yeah. 81-inch wingspan for C.J. Ravenel, 4.83 in the shuttle, 7.75 in the 3-cone drill. This is a very small school player who, unfortunately for him, did not test very well.
Yeah.
But is starting to improve and show a little bit of production in preseason games and has been on the Baltimore practice squad. Again, you talk about an organization that is good at identifying and developing talent. Clearly showed enough in preseason on film for the Titans to say, yep, we're in. Claimed. Come on down. He is on the 53-man roster.
I saw that.
He is not a practice squad addition. This guy is on the team. What do you make of him and his resume?
I was thinking initially he just like me. He that size. He 11
you
reps.
You turned out great. I'd sign up for an edge rusher version of you.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, 11 years in the league? Heck yeah. Come on.
Long arms, 11 reps.
Best of luck, CJ. No pressure.
Listen, my brother, you better ball is what I'm telling you. Make sure your tape is hot. But what I say about guys like him, there's not a lot of tape on him. You can't see him do a lot of stuff. He's developmental. I think this is a sacrifice they're willing to take by having a guy. They see the size, they see the ability to let him grow, get him stronger, let him be mentored by guys like Jeff and others. When you view what he could be, not saying there's 1-to-1 right here, but his size, hearing it sounds like a Danico Autry type. It sounds like if you let him get stronger, grow, he's probably going to be an inactive type also will. But those long arms and the body that he can bring up the middle gives you a hybrid 5-technique, 3-tech is the way I view him if you let him grow. I think whenever Tajay potentially comes back, he'll get cut, go to practice squad, and develop a little bit longer.
Interesting.
That's how I see his situation being, because to say that he only benched 11 reps doesn't mean that he's weak. I say he benched 11 reps because he's got arms.
Really long arms.
Yeah, and you can't buy that size. I look at Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon and him, Will, as guys that are going to develop. We spoke about that. You got to have a farm of guys that are saying, yes, he's ours, and he's gonna be here probably 4 years, and whatever happens at that point is up to him.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how they use him and how he can develop a little bit. So Ravenel added to an edge rusher room that just grows. Timmy Horn was let go as the move for Shai Tuttle, who has not been made official yet, but is going to join the defensive line room. So interesting to see just how big of an impact he has right away. I think my favorite addition they made yesterday is Dorian Mossey, the inside linebacker, Auburn Tiger, undrafted free agent who was waived by the Minnesota Vikings. This guy has played a ton of college football, and my crush or my wish list guy was Chris Paul Jr. From Ole Miss, who got signed, by the way, by the Seattle Seahawks. So he goes within the division from the LA Rams, who waived him to Seattle. But Dorian Massey had 273 career tackles at college.
Jeez.
Last season, he led Auburn with 81 tackles. Pro Football Focus loved this guy in preseason. Yeah. Against Houston, he was the third highest graded Minnesota Vikings defensive player at 78.5. Against New England, third highest graded player on defense at 73.9. Against the Titans, the fifth highest graded player on defense at a 74.5. A guy that joins a linebacker room, Ramon, that needs depth, but also needs youth and needs more long-term options on special teams and on this defense behind the two young guys that you really like in James Williams and Cedric Gray, obviously the starter, Cody Barton. I like Dorian Massey a lot and what he can bring to this team.
This is your Otis re-signing right here.
Yes, it is.
This is it right here.
Chance Campbell, Otis Reese, and then that kind of mold. Absolutely.
Just looking at his tape, he's active as heck. He gets downfield. I've seen him go in motion and track his guys from the left side all the way over to the right side to break passes up. He blitzes off the edge. I do think, just looking at him a little bit, I'm not sure what his 40 time is, but he's a heavy-footed guy, which means he's probably about a 4.5, 4.6, which ain't slow at all the way I view what his time could be. But he's a very direct type of guy that's not nervous in space. That's what I liked about him, too.
What was your prediction on the 40?
4.5, 4.6.
4.68.
Yeah.
Was his 40-year.
And that ain't slow. That's linebacker speed that you need right there. And again, like I said, my thing that I liked about him is he's not nervous in space. You see him run with guys, get his hands up, and know how to defend. To go from Duke to Auburn within a year says a lot about his ability to transition play at a higher level. And I'll say this too: I think Duke played well. They got good football that they're playing a whole lot better right now. So. Good sign. This is Otis Reese. He's going to be a teamer. He's going to have to get his reps up often and possible. I mean, as often as he possibly can. And a great practice guy also. So it's going to be depth is what I see. 3 weeks and see what he can prove to himself by him getting claimed. Active roster. Congratulations. He's mandatory now to be 3 weeks.
That's right. So Dorian Massey, the linebacker edition. And then according to Chris Thomason, a reporter out of Denver, offensive lineman Clay Webb is going to join the Titans practice squad after being waived by the Denver Broncos. Clay Webb is a really interesting prospect to me, Ramon.
Why is that?
Former 5-star at Georgia, who transferred to Jacksonville State to finish his career for his last few seasons. You know who the coach at Jacksonville State was?
No.
Rich Rodriguez, which means his offensive line coach, I'm curious if you've heard this name, and maybe you haven't. Rick Trickett was his offensive line coach at Jacksonville State, who was an assistant head coach at LSU, at West Virginia with Rich Rodriguez. This guy is a kind of Bill Callahan-esque veteran college football line coach who, Ramon, has spent 46 years coaching college football. He's been a head coach at Glenville State. You'll remember that's actually the program Division II where Kim Caldwell came from, Tennessee women's basketball coach. So well-respected offensive line coach. He's a Senior Bowl guy. Clay Webb is as well. Zach Lyons put out a picture. He didn't wear gloves in offensive line drills at the Senior Bowl.
Psycho. You hear me? I was explaining to my middle schoolers the other day. It was like, y'all got to wear gloves. Your hands. Like, no, it's me. I'm soft, okay? It's me. I don't understand it. Even J.C. Latham's put on gloves this year. If you are not wearing gloves, you are a maniac. Do you hear me? Moving on, man. Yeah, this guy's crazy is what I would tell you.
So Clay Webb, again, added to the practice squad, interior lineman, played guard at Jacksonville State, and was kind of buried on a depth chart of 5-star talent in Athens, but started at Georgia and made his way over there and is the latest offensive line addition.
His bio also shows that he's a former wrestler himself, too. So
there you go.
Good in the mix. Only knock I would have on him, man, is going from Georgia to Jacksonville State. And Jacksonville State is not a throwaway university. They got good baseball, good football.
Just switched to FBS.
Yeah, he did. And he got a lot of reps. And while also there, he made all conference, did everything that you needed him to do. I wonder why he didn't go to Auburn or Missouri after the fact. So he seems to have been healthy. It's probably going to end up being a reclamation project for him. And You got the perfect coach here in the Tennessee Titans that'll be able to do that in Bill Callahan.
Before we move on, Missouri Western State, where C.J. Ravenel came from. I could give you 100 guesses on what their nickname is of their football program. You wouldn't be able to guess it. 100 guesses.
Hold up. Let me think.
Missouri Western State.
Let's go. Hobbits.
The Hobbits? No.
Yes.
No.
You've given me 100 guesses.
It's not that crazy.
In
In St. Joseph, Missouri.
St. Joseph. Okay. Tornadoes?
No.
Cyclone.
Their mascot is named Max. What is Max? What creature? Justin, you got any guesses?
Max the Mouse?
Anything? No, they're not the mouses.
No, I don't want to just be silent, but
Well, then say something.
Say something. Who you got? J Hawk?
I literally can't.
Ramon's throwing out all the
I'm
guesses in
throwing
the
out
world.
all of them. Prairie dogs.
Nope.
A cheetah.
Let's go boll weevils.
The Missouri Western State Griffins.
Griffins? Like Peter Griffin?
No, like the bird. Like the mythical creature, like the Griffins.
Oh, like
There's
Like
another show named
the
The
winged,
Griffins.
like the winged, like lion kind of situation.
what?
Yeah.
We're better off being the Peter
Look up
Griffins
the
at this
picture.
point.
Coming up, the Titans made a surprising move yesterday. Why you shouldn't be concerned about Corey Levin being released. We'll tell you why next.
It's Ramon and Will here for Window Nation, man. Whether you have old drafty windows or cheap builder grade windows, now is the best time to replace your windows. Well, and I was just talking about the weather just a second ago, man, and where you need to start to protect your home ahead of the fall and winter weather. Get replacement windows from Window Nation, where they are top quality, energy efficient windows from a trusted company, all will at a reasonable price.
And Ramon, if you just want whatever air you need to be in your house, to stay in your house, whether that's warmth when it's cold outside, the cool air when it's hot outside, you need Window Nation. This month, get 50% off all window styles. Put zero down, make zero payments, and pay zero interest for 2 years. You can pay nothing until 2027. Window Nation gives you a 50-point inspection of every window before it leaves the factory and a 20-point inspection of every window when it's installed. There's a reason why they've got that A-plus rating for the Better Business Bureau. This sale will end soon, so schedule a fast free estimate now at 866-90-NATION. You can head online to windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION online at windownation.com. Ramona will wrap it up hour one this morning on 104.5 The Zone. We are fueled by Scooter's Coffee. I am so excited for what we're about to do in 15 minutes, Ramon. We're going to preview college football games on the radio.
Yeah.
One of those moments where you're just like, man, we made it. We're back.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into like keys to the game. It feels like fall outside. I've got sleeves covering my forearms today. I couldn't be happier to be at work today.
You know what?
Truly couldn't be happier.
The fall is when the world get right.
So yesterday, the Titans released Corey Levin. They will add him to the practice squad, according to reports as well. Jackson Slater is a day 3 guard draft pick, Ramon, who the Titans, I think, believe could long-term be their center or a guard, but he hasn't played any center yet in training camp or in any capacity since he put on a Tennessee Titans uniform. Corey Levin can be elevated for the practice squad up to 3 times. If there was any need to make a move or let anyone else go, they could also add him to the 53 if you felt like Lloyd Cushenberry really needed a backup. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, though, how quickly can Jackson Slater learn center? Is that something that you feel like is reasonable for this season, or is he going to need more time to prepare to play that position on the off chance that something were to happen to Lloyd Cushenberry again?
He's going to need more time, and it's for this particular reason. The snap, the cadence, the designation of who the mic point is. Like if you told me he played a year of it in college, I'd be like, okay, he probably need about a week of practice and guys got to help support him. But center is a very unique situation, man. I had one where a teammate of mine who was a tackle that was trying to save his job and did by learning how to play center. We had a guy get hurt once and in a pinch against a not so good team too. He played and we won. Now, that was the only time I've ever seen that happen. An out-of-position player play that spot. I think most guards should have some understanding of how to play it. But let me tell you, my brother, snapping and stepping is hard. Trust me, I'm teaching middle schoolers that right now, okay? Even myself, I would snap the ball perfectly. But the step side of it, of being able to step, snap, and pull and all that type of stuff, well, it is a unique situation. I wouldn't put him in that spot unless you told me he's been getting reps on practice against the scout team doing those types of things. I don't want to throw him into that situation. I'd much rather have a safety net in Corey Levin or somebody else that actually has experience with it.
Yeah, it feels like they're going to do the same thing with Levin that I think they will with James Prochet.
Okay.
I think you can go ahead and pencil in those 2 guys as your standard elevations for the practice squad next Saturday.
Yeah.
And that's the procedure of the way all this works. The day before the game, you'll elevate 2 guys from the practice squad who are then eligible to join your 46-man game day roster. And then you have guys who will be inactive on your 53 for that game day 46. So I would expect that to happen at least for the first couple of weeks because it's similar circumstances for both of them. Maybe a little bit different for Slater because he hasn't worked at center at all yet for the Titans. He did a little bit in spot duty at Sacramento State, but he was primarily a left guard in college at the FCS level. It's a big adjustment in this offense considering how many checks and how much communication the center specifically has for Brian Callahan's offense and for his system. So Prochet, I feel like, is short-term still your punt returner, and Slater may long-term be your backup center, but I think Corey Levin is still center 2. And that's significant. I don't think in most years, Ramon, we would be really diving into who the backup center is. But when your center is coming off of a torn Achilles last season and is way ahead of schedule in getting back, they need to have a good contingency plan there. And I expect that to be exactly what it is. Corey Levin is the backup who can step in and be a standard elevation for the practice squad for at least 3 times.
It's fascinating, man. I'll tell a side story. Hopefully this guy's listening. He may tell me, but it was a person we highly respect in the media here that had an interaction with Lloyd Cushenberry. He said in the pregame, he rolled up next to him and he started running with him. It's like, man, you can't let a media type beat you with a bad will. And said, Lloyd Cushenberry looked at him and was like, I ain't got no bad will. It's just like, oh, Lloyd thinks he's ready to go.
I think this move suggests he is ready to go.
Yeah, it does. But as a coach, Will, as somebody that's got to take care and curate this team, as some fans are mad because they don't have a strong enough backup quarterback. I will say this: you do need a very strong backup at center. That one, me personally, until he proves that he's good by the 4 games or more, Will, I'm taking some parachutes with me to Denver when it comes to Lloyd Cushenberry.
And especially in this system.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing we've got to emphasize, that this system really values a good center and a communicative center.
Yeah. They do. And if I'm a defensive player, especially if he's coming back to Denver where he earned his stripes at, I'm trying him. I'm testing him. I'm not trying to hurt him. Okay, at all. But I am trying to see, all right, are you really going to anchor well against me? That's just how the game goes.
Jackson Slater, 6'3", 320, 10-inch hands, 32-inch arms, 78.5 wingspan, coming out of Sacramento State. The measurables for, I think, a future starting interior offensive lineman for the Tennessee Titans. I love Jackson Slater.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make it. I think Jackson Slater is a starter on this line at the earliest in 2026, maybe 27, depending on Kevin Zeitler and his willingness and eagerness to come back next year.
See the plan,
but he's got to get through healthy this year before we really talk about Zeitler next year and as late into his career as he is. But you're exactly right. You want to be drafting future starting offensive linemen before you need them, in the same way the Titans found Taylor Lewan in the first round when they still had Michael Roos.
And what's crazy is this, man. You find yourself in a position where you get 3 years, 4 years out of Jackson Slater, then you probably get a first round or second round guard. Because you got to look at JC's situation as a first rounder and also Peter Skoronski. Like, there's balance into saying, I need a mid-round guy that I'm going to get a lot out of. And he just so happens to hit. His price won't be what Peter's is, just based upon his selection in the draft. I love what they're starting to do with this team. You see the balance in economics and draft picks and how you curate sustainability. Like, this is where I will say, I'm not sure how much of this is Chad, but seeing what Borgonzi has done in Kansas City. They go out and get Creed, and then they get a 6th-round Trey Smith. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the balance you're looking for.
615-737-1045. One big thing on Ohio State, Texas, and LSU Clemson. We'll give you the marquee matchups in the 2 marquee matchups of the college football weekend coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Brian's Motorsports, and I do mean that one, man. Well, they tell you this: dream, design, build. That's what they do for you. Also, if you don't have the website, I'll give it to you real quick. It's 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee. It's right off the exit, man. Get there in no time. But here's what they do for you, man. They will elevate your vehicle in any kind of way that you see. I'm talking about from a 10-inch lift to 35-inch tires or 26s on a vehicle. It doesn't matter, man. Custom wheels is what they do. Immersive audio experiences and head-turning style through tents and wraps also. Whether you're seeking something subtle or complete custom build, they can do that. They go to certain build conferences, man. Like I keep telling them, y'all need to take me to SEMA out in Vegas, but I'm working, but they also do great work. But they deliver cutting-edge style and performance for all vehicles, including the most exclusive and exotic cars, too. And if you're a Jeep or Bronco owner, man, that wants the ultimate off-road package, well, Brian's Motorsports is the undisputed leader in that department. Brian's Motorsports can give an aggressive off-road appearance and performance that has made Brian's Motorsports an undisputed leader in off-road upgrades. Again, dream, design, build. You can hit the social medias at Brian Motorsports or just simply visit their store at 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And be sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
It is 7:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans got their first chance to use the top priority in the waiver order yesterday, and they used it acquiring 4 players: cornerback Jalen Armour-Davis, linebacker Dory Maosi, and defensive lineman C.J. Ravenel, as well as cornerback Samuel Womack. The Titans also officially signed defensive tackle Shai Tuttle to his one-year deal. In response to those moves, the team then released center Corey Levin, who started throughout all of training camp, and they also waived defensive tackle Timmy Horn, linebacker Curtis Jacobs, cornerback Gabe Judy Lally, and offensive lineman John Ojukwu. The Titans also named 14 players to their practice squad. In other Titans news, the Titans named 7 captains yesterday for the 2025 season. Quarterback Cam Ward, wide receiver Calvin Ridley, running back Tony Pollard, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, safety Imani Hooker, linebacker Cody Barton, and long snapper Morgan Cox. Today, Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi will meet with the media at 10 a.m. this morning ahead of practice that starts at 10:30, and then head coach Brian Callahan and select players will be available immediately following practice. You can, of course, hear those interviews right here on 104.5 The Zone. In other NFL news, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is being suspended without pay for the first 6 games of the season for violating the league's personal conduct policy as a result of his high-speed car crash in March of 2024. Rice will be eligible for reinstatement October 13th for Week 7 against the Las Vegas Raiders. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone into hour number 2 on this Thursday. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. We got some football to preview for you coming up not only this weekend, but tonight. There is SEC football tonight. There is Power 4. There's a Power 4 playoff contender, Ramon.
Yeah.
That's playing tonight. Heck, there may even be a play-in game to the college football playoff that happens tonight at 6 p.m.
Wow.
You know what's going on in Tampa, Florida?
What's that?
South Florida's hosting Boise State tonight. That might be a G5.
matchup.
Yeah, that's a G5 play-in game. Alex Golish has got a roster down there that is a playoff contender. Obviously, we know what Boise State has going on.
No doubt.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to it. It's just the fact that it's real. Like last weekend, watching that Iowa State and Kansas State game. What was Iowa State, Kansas State
Farmageddon
was amazing.
You know, by the way, there was a report from Josh Pate and Josh Pate Investigates the other day that there are people trying to take away the nicknames of rivalry games.
Why?
People who hate fun. Yeah.
It's probably not even people that go to these events.
That's correct.
That's
It's like chancellors and university presidents that show up just to shake babies and kiss hands.
They don't even
Yes, I know. I messed
go
that up.
to this. And you did it right because those people aren't right. I'll be honest with you. One of the dumbest things I think we had this past weekend was the Cracker Barrel situation. Like, it's people that don't even visit that are complaining, I'm sure.
Did you see Buck, by the way, yesterday said
Slanderous.
said that their food was terrible, so who cares?
Name me a better pancake.
Buck needs to find God is what he needs to do in that context. Buck has a lot of bad takes. That's one of his worst ones.
Listen, when you write, I'm going to just throw money into the pulpit. You hear?
Tell me that you were not raised on Mama's pancake breakfast without telling me that you weren't raised on Mama's pancake breakfast.
They don't get what we say around here, man. Like, legitimately. Like, if you're going to raise hell, then you need to go support or be in the mix with it. That's all I'm telling you. People, like, we're removing names from games now?
Anyway.
Third Saturday in October don't mean anything anymore?
That one won't change, but yeah.
No.
Anyway, the point is there are a lot of people that try to ruin college football and try to put their own spin on a sport that they don't love, that we love. I feel none of that negativity this morning, Ramon, because today's day 1.
Come on, man.
Today is week 1. I know week 0 is an appetizer. No.
And I loved it.
We're finally looking around and those sizzling fajitas are coming around the corner. And you're thinking, all right, we're done with chips and salsa. Yeah. Farmageddon was chips and salsa. The sizzling fajitas hit the table tonight. When Nebraska takes on Cincinnati, when Missouri plays its annual Thursday week 1 game at home against a team that you've probably never heard of, and when Boise State takes on South Florida.
Listen, what I'm telling you is last week was an amazing. I'm talking about meatballs and rotel. You see what I'm saying? Like, I absolutely enjoy it. We get wings.
I don't know if you'd mix those together, but sure.
Dog.
Meatballs
you
and
and Peyton
rotel.
got to come over. That's all that is.
All right.
Y'all got to come over to the crib.
Meatballs and rotel.
Listen, the way I do
I'd
my
try it.
barbecue
I'm
meatballs,
not a picky eater.
you would love it.
Okay.
Listen.
All right. Tell me with a good
Chef's
time.
kiss. I didn't kiss at will, just so you guys know. I was kissing in the air.
On 104.5 The Zone TV, you can see Ramon is directing his kisses. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch.
That Boise State South Florida game starts at 4:30 Central is what I'm seeing right now.
4:30 Central?
Yes.
I thought it was at 6.
No.
Okay.
It's got time, 4:30 p.m. And I'm guessing it's been set up to be Central on my computer right now. You
Interesting.
seeing it too? I'll
Yeah,
still be
you're
at football
right. 4:30
practice.
Central. Well, I'll be danged. All right, there you go.
Better get in on this.
We may have to get a vibe check from Robert Walsh later because his Pirates take on NC State today.
Listen, it's serious for him today too. He get emotional about his sports.
NC State, 13.5-point favorites. NC State. That's a big number.
Love that for him. Let's do it.
Ohio State, Texas is the headliner of the college football weekend. For Beerbone, perhaps the teams with the highest ceilings in college football this season. What is the one big matchup that defines this game in Columbus on Saturday?
The one big matchup is going to be, considering how good they were last year and the defense that they had, can this newly made Texas offensive line fight?
It's exactly where I'm at, too.
Fight, Will.
Big question there.
Big old fight.
Because
is where I
Ohio
have.
State has got a lot of new pieces on that front seven as well. They lost a who's who of now NFL rookies in their pass rush.
And I say this in an endearing type of way, but they got the golden boy they got to protect. That plays a part into what they got going on. But here's what you also have: Trevor Goodsby, so expected to be a doggone all-conference player too at left tackle. And not just that, I'll give you one more: DJ Campbell, number 1 ranked offensive lineman in the class of 2022. They've stockpiled it. I saw at the end of this write-up that I have here, there's like Sarkisian is teetering on the edge of dynasty.
That's right.
That, to me, it starts with his big boys up front, which is why, as a Vols fans, I always want to see them go after big-time offensive and defensive linemen. That matters in college.
I think for both of these teams...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
For both these teams, there are a lot of blue-chip players who just haven't made a name for themselves yet, and someone's about to in this game. In the same way that Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith exploded last season, early in the year. Jeremiah Smith, we know who he is. Caleb Downs might be the best player overall in college football entering this season. Anthony Hill, the linebacker for Texas, might be right up there as well.
Listen to me before you move on for him. Anthony Hill, if you're picking in the top 10 next year, no-brainer.
Yeah, there's just no way he isn't a good pro. There's a couple of those players every year, aren't there, where you're just like, your floor is like a 10-year vet. And your ceiling is like an 8-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, for real.
And Colin Simmons, the now sophomore All-American edge rusher for Texas, he might be that for the 2027 draft.
I can't even be mad
Him
at
and Jeremiah
Texas.
Smith, both.
I can't even be mad at Texas.
There are a lot of players that are going to be household names in the NFL in this football game. To me, which offensive line performs better defines the entire matchup. 2 new starting tackles at Ohio State. Their right tackle has switched over to left from last season to this season. Minnesota transfer Phillip Daniels is at right tackle now. The defensive line for Texas, the way I've heard this explained is you haven't heard of them, but when you look at them, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, that's Texas. Yep. They'll be fine. They lost 3 starters to the pros. They lose a lot. I mean, but both these teams just lose a lot in the trenches. They bring back some in the secondary and at wide receiver. But in the trenches, there's major turnover. Texas is replacing 4 starters on the offensive line, like you mentioned. Yeah. Where Ohio State, though, is its weakest, I think, is up front on the defensive side of the ball, to where I don't think Ohio State will be able to expose Texas's inexperience and lack of cohesion on the offensive line. To me, Ramon, the difference in this game is staff. I trust Texas's coaching staff and PK on defense, the defense coordinator, Pete, I always butcher his last name, Kwiatkowski, with Steve Sarkisian calling plays on offense, more so than I trust Brian Hartline and Matt Patricia on defense. Brian Hartline is a first-year offensive coordinator, first-time offensive coordinator. I think they're going to miss Chip Kelly this year.
Yep.
I think Chip Kelly was an X factor for Ohio State last season. And Jim Knowles, obviously, on the defensive side of the football. Matt Patricia, I think, has a lot of potential.
I don't trust Matt Patricia.
I don't either.
Okay.
And maybe it's the damaged goods of how it went for him in Detroit and in New England, but I don't know. Like he's obviously done a lot of really good things, but you had Bill when you were doing a lot of those good things in New England.
To instruct him.
I know more about Texas than I do Ohio State. I think Texas wins the game outright. We'll do picks later, the Thursday 3 at 9:20, but I just know more about Texas than I do Ohio State, and I tend to lean towards that in a game of this magnitude.
I want to see what Jeremiah Smith does still.
Him and those Texas DBs is going to be an awesome
It's
matchup.
going to be so good. I wonder, can we have a TV in the booth on Saturday?
Man, there's good Wi-Fi in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm going to be in the stands, and I'm going to make sure I got a battery pack for my phone.
You was going down?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
I was just telling you the other day because the spot in the stadium I'm in, I might be right beneath the booth.
That's right. Yeah.
LSU Clemson, same question, Ramon. One big matchup that defines this game.
Linebackers. I'm looking at Sammy Watkins, who's what is it? Yeah, Sammy Brown. My bad, Sammy Watkins. Who am I
Different
speaking
Clemson
of? Yeah, same school, different player. Sammy Brown. I remember UT being deep into that recruitment with him, man, and he's been nothing but a stud and a star for him too. And also beside him, I kind of just want to say the name, man. Jayhawk, be ready for the dump button, but it's also his last name. Wade Woodass is his name. Like
You're good on that one.
They are. Looking at knowing what that front defensive line is for them, can LSU protect Nussmeier with the guys that they have up front? Having lost 2 draft picks this year, too. I do look at Clemson's game of how they play and how Dabo has raised this defense up. They got first-rounders at every single level on this squad right here. And I'm looking at the way Nussmeier is going to be. Well, I'll be honest with you. I got Clemson winning this game.
I do too. I think it's, again, not to give a cop-out of this game's won in the trenches because it's football. That's obvious.
First game of the week, first game of the season. You got to establish this. Looking at the game last week with Kansas State, Iowa State, we saw that be a part of it too.
LSU has to run the football effectively to take pressure off of Garrett Nussmeier. It's just that simple. I think that's the key to the season for LSU. Brian Kelly has to address his team's biggest weakness from a year ago. It was their inability to run the ball with any sort of competence. And to me, Ramon, it's funny how many teams in the conference that was a theme for last year who never have that problem. Georgia couldn't run the football consistently last year. LSU was miserable running the football last year. There is no excuse having 4 NFL draft picks on your offensive line and being at the bottom of the SEC in running the ball.
No.
They were last in the SEC in rushing yards per game. Per carry basis, they were 3rd worst in the SEC. Pick Six Previews has their offensive line run push and that analytic at 103 in the country, Ramon.
That's unacceptable.
Last season. Caden Durham, as a freshman last year, showed some really good things. He deserves better from the guys up front. Clemson is too talented to be able to pin their ears back, go after Garrett Nussmeier in a predictable offense where they can time that silent count in their stadium. I think Clemson wins this game because of the defensive front that is nasty for Clemson coming back this year. TJ Parker is a name you're going to hear mocked to the Tennessee Titans all season as one of the top edge rushers of the NFL draft this upcoming year. His ability to get after the quarterback, that's a new offensive line at LSU. If this game was in week 10, I would have a lot more confidence in their ability to win it. Not in week 1. Not in Orange Death Valley.
And we hadn't even mentioned the potential of Cade Klubnik also being a potential first-round draft pick, too.
And those 3 receivers, when Clemson is at its best, they are great at receiver. And Antonio Williams, Bryant Wesco, and TJ Moore is at least a top 5 wide receiver trio in college football, minimum. Maybe number 1.
It's a great
entering
matchup,
the season.
But I just see Clemson from they have an edge.
I agree.
They have an edge in this one.
And the last time LSU won a week 1 game, Joe Burrow was their quarterback. 0 for their last 5.
He ain't walking through that door on Saturday.
Since the COVID pandemic happened, LSU has not won a game in week 1. Coming up next, we go back to Titans Talk. Coach Dave McGinnis of Titans Radio joins us after this.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work.
And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee on 104.5 The Zone as Hour 2 continues this Thursday morning. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling with Coach Dave McGinnis, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Two Rivers Ford. A game week next week when we talk with Coach Mack. Today we are talking about the new 53-man roster. Mack, how we doing? Good morning.
Morning, Mac.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, I mean, I was at practice yesterday. There's some new faces out there, so we knew there was going to be some new guys. This is going to be, it takes a while to get those kind of players integrated into what you're doing. But they made some moves yesterday. They're not done making moves, but that was a pretty good swath of moves yesterday.
So, Coach Mack, it was interesting when Mike Borgonzi told me last week on Titans Radio that they had been prepping for the waiver process like prepping for the draft. How much has that manpower, Mack, over the last month been split between scouting this team's own roster and scouting 31 other rosters with the 4 additions they made yesterday? I imagine there's a lot of hours that have been spent on the film room watching your own team and also all the other teams as well.
Well, that's why these scouting departments are so big now. I mean, you've got people that, if you go through that building, there's parts of it that they've been in front of those computers all summer. I mean, there's just that's just what the National Football League is now. And then with the unusual situation of being able to have the number 1 waiver claim, they've been at this for a while. I mean, it's been pretty intense.
So, Matt, going through the 4 guys they are awarded on waivers yesterday, I know Jalen Armour-Davis was a player that was attempted to be claimed by Philadelphia, by a couple of other teams as well, for a longer corner, Mac, who's got familiarity with Denard Wilson. What stands out about him?
Yeah, I remember vetting him coming out. I haven't followed his. I've got to be honest. I don't follow these guys' careers like they follow them in that scouting department. But I do know this: all the time that they have spent, just as I had mentioned earlier, this year, because they knew that they were going to have to vet everybody across the league. They've got the guys. They've got the guys that they feel like could possibly make a contribution at some point. Now, I don't know if any of these guys would be active, very early, but we'll find out and see. So, I mean, I really don't know. I do know this. I talked with Denard yesterday, and just, what they will do is once they identify people, if there is somebody that has a relationship or has worked for or worked with one of the coaches on staff, that is part of the evaluation process. So I'm sure that Denard had input on that one.
Mac, man, 53-man roster, like you said, somewhat set at this point. It's always a couple of moves to be made, but I want to stick with a couple of guys, man, that were here.
Okay.
Over the course of this training camp that you saw, Coach Mack, because you do a lot of intel. And that one guy in particular, man, is Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon. I love the fact that he's undrafted. I love the fact that they have right now selected to keep him on this 50-man roster. But what does this do for him and his team as you try to develop this guy moving forward, Mac? What did you see out of him in training camp?
Well, Ramon, that's the guy that as a free agent, they paid some money to.
Yeah.
They paid some money to get him in here, so clearly they had vetted him pretty hard. When you watch him, when I watched him, because I always watch the offensive line first during the early part, then when I do all that stuff that I'm doing my final 2 positions for Microsoft, mic'd up in practice today. The offensive line, you can see why this is a guy that they felt like had a chance to do something with some NFL coaching, because he's got good feet. This is a bigger human being, and he's a decent athlete. So I mean, that's what you look for, and especially if you're going to spend some money, and when you put them up on the board, whether they're A, B, or C, UDFAs, when you put that up on the board, there is a reason that somebody has liked him through the process. And so I could see what they were looking at. I'm glad he's getting a chance, Ramon. I really am.
Oh, doubt, Coach Mack. And another guy's going to get a chance to start the season off not on the PUP list, man, is Lloyd Cushenberry. Mac, you've seen a little bit more than most, man, but what I've seen from him, his anchor is there. His ability to move left to right is there from the Achilles. You got to tip your cap to a guy like him who's worked his butt off to get back on the field, Coach Mack. How big of a moment is this for him, this Titans offensive line, having the ability to go to Denver with all 5 of their penciled-in starters?
They need him. I mean, they need him, and it was good to see him. And he was smart. They were very smart with the way that they worked him back in there. But I especially with I thought Corey Levin did a really good job. I'm glad they're bringing him back. But Lloyd Cushenberry was paid a lot of money for a reason. He's a really good player, and also in this system. I mean, you can speak to this better than anybody. But I mean, it's a fact that he's one of his strengths. Not only his physical part of it, but the mental part of his game, being able to identify what's getting ready to happen. Because as you well know, that's a huge, huge part of pre-snap stuff with an offensive line. And, now that center guard triangle, if those 3 guys stay healthy in that center guard triangle, that gives you a chance now to be able to start to make a dent, and they're going to be challenged right off the jump. I've already started my work on Denver. So they're jumping right into the ring with a really good defensive front that they're going to have to identify with a lot of ways for this young quarterback. I think it's huge that he was able to work himself back and get off the PUP list and also be ready to go.
Coach Mack with us, presented by our friends at Two Rivers Ford. Mac, Brian Callahan made the statement last week that the next steps for Cam Ward will certainly be different than anything that he has done so far. And preseason is just a totally different animal, obviously, from the regular season. How will that process of practice and getting ready to play look different for Cam Ward over the coming days and over the next week?
Well, now they're game planning. They're working on matchups. I mean, and plus, they're going to get everything thrown at them. I mean, there's a reason why Denver was really successful, especially during the latter part of last year when you just put on that tape and start watching and see how they were playing. I mean, Bo Nix did a really nice job with the offense. The offensive part of it's really good too, but this defense is legit. And now that defense is game planning for Cam Ward and the Titans. Cam Ward has not faced that yet. That's the next challenge. And plus, you can get used to game speed, but it's warp speed when you get into the real season. I mean, there's just a difference. And people think, well, that's kind of a euphemism. People saying, well, it's faster. It's faster in the preseason. It gets faster in the regular season. The playoffs get faster, but that's the truth. I mean, and so he's gonna face some things that he has never, ever, ever seen before. So he will have the same approach. And this coaching staff is savvy enough and also veteran enough. They know what he's going to face. And so this is another part. It's a huge step in the growth process for a young rookie quarterback. I mean, they all have to go through it. And he's getting ready to go through it.
Coach Mack, with that also, I wanted to ask about Cam in this situation. Opening day starter, rookie, as you just said. Is there any way to condition him mentally, physically? Because he hadn't had an entire game under his belt to start the season off. Is that a worry for a young guy like him? Because it's all new to him. What do you do to prepare him for this upcoming, next weekend?
No, it's not a worry. It's just reality. I mean, it's just life. That's the way it is in the National Football League. I mean, you either do it or you don't. And he's been on the right path, but there's no magic formula to this, Ramon. You made a living for a long time in this league, doing that. I did too. There's no magic formula to it. You've got to take it. A step at a time as to what's going on, but you have to be able to rise up and meet each challenge as it comes. Regular season is a different challenge than the preseason.
Coach Mack, talking about the roster gymnastics the Titans have had to do over the last 48 hours by releasing Corey Levin. They still have the ability with him on the practice squad to elevate him up to 3 times to be a standard practice squad elevation and still back up Lloyd Cushenberry. But For Jackson Slater, who's worked only at guard so far, Mac, how much midseason can they start to maybe work him in at center and in an emergency situation have him ready to do that? Like, what's the divide between individual development of backups like that, where you want to develop young guys while also still understanding that those guys have a role to play in getting the starters ready each and every week to go play?
Well, that's part of it. I mean, that's one reason. And the league understands the importance of being able to have people on the offensive line, for a season to be successful. That's why, look, they made an exception. The whole league did, and the whole league understands this. You can have the 8th offensive lineman without penalty on your active game day roster. That's the reason for it. The extra spot can be extra if it's an offensive lineman, because look, other than the 5 starters, everybody else on that offensive line has to be able to at least perform in 2 positions. It just has to happen. And so that's the life he's going to lead for a while.
Mac, Elikiah Manor has started to come on a little bit and has started to play more with Cam Ward and Chimere Dike. I throw into that boat as well. What do you think the next step is that Tyke Tolbert wants to see from those 2 guys? Obviously, Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson provide you experience at that position, but as you see Elick maybe specifically coming on, Mac, what's the next step for him to be able to earn more reps on the field and game action?
Well, he's just going to have to. He's going to have to continue to develop. And this is going to be a very young football team. It's a young football team, and with a young football team come a lot of firsts. There's a lot of firsts that are getting ready to happen for this football team up and down the roster because you've got so many young players. So at the same, he's going to be the same thing. Once you get relegated to game speed in the National Football League and the intensity of preparation. Each week you only get 17 shots at this, and so the preparation is intense. That's his next step, that he has to do. And then what they have to do, and I always told the rookies, just trust your training, trust what got you here, but then you've got to dig in and you've got to immerse yourself in it, because there's no shortcuts to take to being able to get ready to play in a real National Football League game for your first time. And it takes a while to get settled in. So there's going to be a lot of firsts, as I said, on this team. And with those receivers, they're going to be involved in this game. And so they've got to get themselves ready to go mentally as well as physically.
Coach Mack, another one of those firsts is going to be seeing the new special teams outfit that Coach Fossil has. What's the expectation for him, Coach Mack, as you expect it to be one of the better upgrades from last year to this year? Because, we're talking about a former head coach, a guy that has a lot of respect in this league, and I'm sure the standard that he's asking his guys to play with on those special teams units is refreshing to see around there, Coach Mack.
Consistency is what you want, Ramon. That's what you want out of your special teams. That has to be as consistent as any aspect of the game, because they only get 12 to probably 15 snaps a game. And the consistency part of it, you can't have any major dips, in special teams play. And again, with a young football team, you're going to have some young guys doing some things, at a speed that they haven't seen yet. Now, the thing that's going to happen is Bones is a veteran coach. He can settle that group down, but consistency is what you're looking for out of your special teams. You don't need it. What you don't want as a head coach, and I never wanted out of my special teams, was surprises. I don't want a surprise. I want somebody that's consistent, and that's what you need to have, especially throughout, for returns, for coverage, and try to keep the unnecessary penalties, because look, how many flags are thrown in the preseason on special teams? As far as holding, blocking in the back, all those types of things that during the preseason are teachable moments, but during the season they can be pretty significant moments that flip field position.
No doubt.
Coach Dave McGinnis with us every Thursday, presented by our friends at Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, Two Rivers Ford. We will be in a game week with Coach Mack this time next Thursday. Always a pleasure, Mac. Appreciate you, sir.
All right, guys. Ramon.
Yes, sir.
Get ready to roll. You guys are getting ready to roll. Orange versus orange. I can't wait to see it.
Can't wait, Coach Mack. Are you calling the game this weekend? I know you usually get in from time to time when you have some free time.
There's no free time this weekend for me. I'm going to watch football this weekend. I'm going to watch football, and I'm going to turn on the radio and listen to you and Mike Keith.
Thank you, Mac. Love it, man. Can't wait to hear you guys either next week.
See you guys.
All right, Mac.
Later, Mac. Coach Mack with us this morning.
I love that he's taking some time just to chill, man. That's what I'm talking about. Get some ball in you, Mac.
He needs it.
Yeah, he does.
Mac Around America Tour leads straight into the NFL regular season, which is almost here, obviously.
Yeah.
So
yes, it is.
we are 7 days away from NFL football returning.
It's going to be big time.
We're so back.
I'm talking about big time.
Coming up next, Chris Ballard sounds like a baby. I'll just put it that way. Indianapolis, God forbid you get asked about quarterbacks. Little lash out at the media yesterday from the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Prince's Hot Chicken, man. They got numerous locations around Nashville, and that's because they are the original hot chicken. Yes, the ones who started Prince's, okay? The original location is 5814 Nolensville Pike. I always like to tell you guys, you're doing the touristy thing with some friends, you can stop at Assembly Food Hall off Broadway, or Cane Ridge also has a location, man, at the Tanger Outlets. Get in. And speaking of getting out, B&A Airport also has in between gates or the concourses C and D. Stop right there, get your order, hit your plane, you're good to go. They have many southern flavors, too, for you. They got the plain if you're not into the hot chicken, you just want some really good flavored chicken. But they also have light, mild, medium, hot, and the 3X hot is something that I'll leave to you all about this. But get you some good size while you're there, too. Some mac and cheese, potato salad, baked beans, a plethora of options for you at Prince's Hot Chicken, man. Again, one of the best to do it, the best to do it, and there's numerous locations around. They also offer catering to you, too, in case you were wanting to set something up from 15 people to 1,000 plus. No party size is too large for Prince's Hot Chicken. Even your tailgate events, they can make that happen for you, too. Again, get to one of the 5 locations around the city, even in the airport if you're leaving out, man. Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
What's up, it's Footballing. If you have been listening to the show this week, you know about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. And I'm here to tell you, it is the perfect way to get your game day going. Whether it's tailgate, you got a watch party going on tonight, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, there is plenty of opportunity to try out the new Daisy French Onion Dip. It is my favorite way to watch football. Chips, wings, veggies while watching the big game. Well, Daisy has come out with this delicious Daisy French Onion Dip and a Daisy Ranch Dip. I'm telling you guys, these are a game changer. So what you're going to do, you're going to head to a grocery store near you. You're going to pick up the Daisy French Onion Dip, try that Daisy Ranch Dip. You're going to take it, you're going to put it in a random bowl of your choice, and everyone's going to think you made a homemade dip. It's that simple. After they try it, you can go ahead and reveal, yeah, no, that's Daisy French Onion Dip. You got to try it yourself. As delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Check it out and look for Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Wrapping up the first half of your Thursday morning. We'll reset the headlines for you, what you need to know about the latest NFL roster moves, including the ones of local interest, coming up at 8 o'clock. Plus, our first weekly visit with voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, coming up at 8:20. If you miss any of that, you can download the Ramon and Will podcast wherever you download podcasts. I had a friend the other day, Ramon. I'll give him a shout out. My buddy Baxter.
What up,
Good friend.
Baxter?
I'm going to see him this weekend at the Tennessee-Syracuse game, the orangest kickoff game of all time. Mm-hmm. Who was like, hey, what's a good Vols podcast? I texted him back, Ramon and Will. It's like, well, there's a lot of Titan stuff. He's a Giants fan. He's like, there's a lot of Titan stuff in there.
Sucks.
How do I just get your Vols stuff? So we're subscribed to the Ramon and Will podcast. Standalone interviews, hour-by-hour segments. You can curate what you want us to sound like on the Ramon and Will podcast feed by subscribing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just do the right thing, Baxter. Like, we're not asking you to eat a whole block of cheese.
No whole wheel of cheese. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
I wouldn't even be mad at you, okay? But what we're saying is this. You got options. And the best option is to start with us, man.
Come on, Baxter.
Come on, Baxter. I'm not saying your name again, Baxter. Next time I say your name like this, it's not going to be in this voice, okay?
I love it. I love it. Good friend of the of the boys. So Chris Ballard yesterday was asked a lot of questions about the quarterback position in Indianapolis. He says he will not trade Anthony Richardson. Says it is tough on any young quarterback in this league, but for him to keep taking the growth steps that he has and work so hard and then not get the goal for himself. All right, now to continue to do that, that's when we've got a chance to see real growth. Says there is a lot of value in sitting behind a guy that's a pro and watching and learning and growing and working on things you need without the same pressure of being the starter. He took so many questions, Chris Ballard, Colts general manager yesterday. He pushed back a little bit with this.
No, we do have like 51 other guys on the team. Do we have any other questions on the team? I mean, you can keep spinning this other one as many ways as you want, but we do have 51 other teams. Absolutely. And look, let me say this. They deserve to ask these questions. And I understand the doubt. I get it. And that's our job to go prove it at the end of the day. It's a long season. And, things are good and bad. You have good moments and bad moments. But like I said before, like when you win, it sure helps a lot of those issues.
Chris Ballard, Colts general manager yesterday.
One or two things or both is happening. Pressure. He knows that.
That's definitely happening.
That's definitely happened. So we checked the box on that one. Or he's left with a decision, or he's left with a quarterback that was potentially not his. And he's looking at the pressure from, and I say this again, the daughters have. There will be a shift in what the Colts look like and probably start doing as a business. I think at some point, and I don't know if he's a part of what they got going on with how this team wins or loses this year. He mentioned, like, winning would cure a lot. If they're right on Daniel Jones, a lot, he will be given grace. It's the way I look at this situation right here. So I'm fascinated to see how he somewhat brings it back in, because I ain't going to say he lost it in that press conference, but he's right. He deserved these questions coming his direction right now. And only thing that's going to save him is, one, getting that press conference done and also winning games this football season.
It's almost like Chris Ballard is in control of how many quarterback questions he gets.
Oh, my gosh.
Chris, buddy, if you were not a professional at getting QB wrong, you wouldn't be getting these questions.
No.
But you keep messing up, so media is going to keep asking about it. Like, what do you expect people to do when you are investing the future of your franchise, still, according to you, in a guy that just hasn't played any football? Like, the guy has played 13 games in college and 15 as a pro. It's 28 games since high school. Mm-hmm. Cam Ward played 28 games like before he even got to the FBS level.
Right. Right.
Crazy to me.
It's pressure, Will, I'm telling you. And you know what? I have no sympathy for it, because you're supposed to hit on your job or either you get fired. I'm sure he's going to have a heck of a nice walk-away package if he does get let go. But Indy has a high standard, and it starts with Peyton for sure. I mean, Johnny Unitas is a part of that too. Like the quarterback position matters there. And the AFC South is wide friggin' open, and here you are trying to figure out what you're gonna go do at quarterback.
Comparisons are often dangerous at quarterback, especially, and Chris Ballard made a big one yesterday. You see, he compared Daniel Jones to Alex Smith.
He can stop that. Don't no, absolutely not.
Chris Ballard was in Kansas City with Mike Berganzi, mind you, when Alex Smith joined the Chiefs in 2013. That was in the wake of the 49ers opting to go with Colin Kaepernick over the first overall pick of the 2005 draft, and Smith made the only 3 Pro Bowls of his career during his time in Kansas City. Chris Ballard yesterday said, I don't want to dismiss that Daniels had a good run here. Reminds me a lot of Alex Smith that we had in Kansas City that I thought was the ultimate professional day in and day out. The team knew exactly what they were getting, and I feel that's kind of the same thing with Daniel.
He's just trying to win people over.
We made this comparison a little bit when the Titans were potentially in the trade back market and could have, you were a Daniel Jones fan for the Titans.
Guy. Absolutely.
And could have gone that route and brought in a quote-unquote Alex Smith type in order to stabilize the position and kick that can down the road. The Alex Smith comparison, though, we made was Sam Darnold. Because Alex Smith was not a one-year prove-it. Like, Alex Smith got a deal and was paid a lot of money to play quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs in the same way that Sam Darnold was the veteran quarterback belle of the ball that ended up signing in Seattle.
No doubt.
If you had gotten him or Geno Smith or someone more of that nature, maybe I'd be willing to have that conversation. Daniel Jones failed in New York.
Or don't have a top 5 pick at quarterback that you can't get to play winning football.
Like, what is
That's
the
difference?
The Alex Smith comparison is what? Like sneaky fast white dudes who play quarterback?
Right. Well, you got a very fast black guy playing quarterback over there. Like, figure that part out. Like, that's why I'm saying he's trying to shift their fan base's thought into saying, like, oh, we got an Alex Smith now. No, you got an Anthony Richardson. That's why this conversation's so big right now. And I get it. He's trying to preserve himself and get off that doggone podium at that point, Will. But to the point, like, Kansas City at the time had Alex Smith who was winning. They had a young guy in Patrick Mahomes behind him. The issue that he has is you got a fresh
Right.
AR.
You don't have the Mahomes part.
You got the Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, your guy has played and showed us that he's not good right now. Respectfully, if it wasn't your pick, just say it at this point. You're probably going to get fired anyway, so just have the daughter say, look, y'all, that wasn't my pick. I don't like Anthony Richardson. Like, I'd rather go with Daniel Jones. Like, that's where he's at right now. And again, as I said, I am a Daniel Jones fan if you didn't have a guy in place right now. They do have a guy in place, Anthony Richardson.
Sure. We'll see.
For what it's worth, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. You're right. For now, they have Anthony Richardson. According to Chris Ballard, he's not being moved. 615-737-1045 is our number. We'll reset the Titans headlines on who they added yesterday. Plus, there's talk out there about an unwritten rule in the NFL that was broken yesterday by the Philadelphia Eagles. And we'll dive into that next.
Listeners sometimes ask me, man, what makes advanced hair restoration so different? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Advanced Hair stands by the results, and their befores and afters are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Also, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge-quality experience that's hard to find elsewhere. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It's quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you got a little bit of a flexible schedule this summer, you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, I'm here to tell you it's here. Advanced Hair's summer savings event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It is their best offer ever. For details and to schedule your free consultation, call 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. The number is, again, 629-348-HAIR or visit advancedhair.com.
It is 8 a.m. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans used their top priority in the waiver order yesterday, acquiring 4 players: cornerback Jalen Armour-Davis, linebacker Dorian Maosi, defensive lineman C.J. Ravenel, and cornerback Samuel Womack. The Titans also officially signed defensive tackle Shai Tuttle to his one-year deal yesterday, and in response to those moves yesterday, the team released center Corey Levin, who started all throughout training camp, and they also waived defensive tackle Timmy Horn, linebacker Curtis Jacobs, cornerback Gabe Judy Lally, and offensive lineman John Ojukwu. The Titans also named 14 players to their practice squad as well. In other Titans news, the Titans named 7 captains for the 2025 season: rookie quarterback Cam Ward, wide receiver Calvin Ridley, running back Tony Pollard, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, safety Amani Hooker, linebacker Cody Barton, and long snapper Morgan Cox. Today, Titans general manager Mike Bergonzi will speak to the media at 10 a.m. this morning ahead of practice, which starts at 10:30. Then head coach Brian Callahan and select players will be available immediately following practice. You can, of course, hear those right here on 104.5 The Zone and on the Buck Rising Show. In other NFL news, per Jordan Schultz, the Cincinnati Bengals are signing former Minnesota Vikings guard Dalton Risner. Risner has allowed 0 sacks over the last 2 regular seasons per PFF. More protection is on its way to Cincinnati for All-Pro quarterback Joe Burrow. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone rolls into the second half of your Thursday morning, your Friday Junior. We should properly act like it today. You know why, Ramon Foster?
Talk to me, Will.
Because college American rules tackle football gets played tonight and for the next 5 days in a row.
Tell them.
That's a reason to wake up with a smile on your face this morning. Nebraska, Cincinnati tonight. Boise State, USF this afternoon. Missouri starts the SEC season tonight. There is so much to be thankful for this morning. And if you're alive and breathing, that's the first thing to be thankful for.
I mean, I'm glad you put that out there too, Will. That's what I'm talking about, man. Just thinking about the people, man.
Your feet hit the floor in Nashville, Tennessee, you're living right.
And we're rolling. That's all we're looking for.
Absolutely right. Titans made a lot of moves yesterday. If you're just now waking up, first of all, welcome. We're glad to have you. Secondly, here's your practice squad so far. In an official capacity: Kendall Brooks, Cam Horsley, Jamar Jefferson, Mason Kinsey, Isaiah Rakes, Xavier Restrepo, and Andrew Rupsich. Signed to the practice squad as well: Ollie Gay and running back Jordan Mims. And vets on the practice squad: Amani Oruwariye, James Prochet, Trevor Simeon, and Carlos Watkins. International pathway player Thomas Odukoya, who does not count against the Titans practice squad because of how the Titans acquired him as an international player. He is there as well. The Titans, within this process, have released or waived 5 total players: Curtis Jacobs, a linebacker; D lineman Timmy Horn; offensive lineman Corey Levin and John Ojukwu; and corner and former Tennessee player Gabe Judy Lally. Within that, they have not officially announced yet the signing of defensive tackle Shai Tuttle, but are expected to, and are also expected to add undrafted rookie lineman Clay Webb to the practice squad. Ramon, the Corey Levin move was surprising to you. Why is that?
Because you have a guy coming off a major injury and surgery, and Noah Cushenberry with the Achilles, and I thought Levin played really well in the time that he was out. And it's funny watching this situation kind of unfold because Corey did everything you needed him to do, man. He was a guy that was there every day. There was no bad snaps. There was a lot of helping of Cam Ward also in this process, and poof, still get cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it's like a beautiful game with a dirty business behind it. But I'm sure here's the other part. Corey Levin will be employed. I'm sure he'll be able to negotiate up his salary when it comes down to the what he's paid on practice squad also, and he still has a job. Corey Levin gonna mess around and get 10 years in this league because of his value to this team. But the other part of that is Corey is probably just Titans important. meaning another team probably won't come in and claim him. And I think the Titans know that type of situation.
And he is not subject to waivers.
Right. He can pick.
So he can pick where he goes. So I imagine there was probably an agreement from his camp to the Titans to say, we're going to go ahead and release you, but are you good to be on the practice squad? Because they can elevate 2 players up to 3 times. They can elevate 2 players every week, but you can elevate a specific player up to 3 times from the practice squad as standard game day elevations. I would expect Corey Levin to at least be that for the first couple of weeks of the season. Now, if anyone gets hurt, if there's an injury on that offensive line, I also think that he could very well be the next guy up. Because, again, if they want to put him back down, it sounds a little morbid.
No, man.
I mean, we're not putting down.
We're not putting down people.
You know what I mean? From the active roster to the practice squad, you should feel confident about your ability to do that again. So,
it's a safety
Corey Levin
net.
as the longest tenure Titan out of UT Chattanooga in 2017.
Yes, no doubt about it, man. It
Stays
is
around.
And that's got to be a tough place to be at a person in his position. Like, he's a spot starter, not an every week starter, right? It's the way you got to kind of look at him. So to be able to go to Mike Burguns and Chad Brinker and have them say, hey, do you trust us? Like, that's putting a lot of trust in those guys going to do the right thing by you by putting you on the practice squad, probably elevating your pay and trusting that you're going to end up having a job. Because what if somebody else becomes available? The thing that he has in his favor, though, is it's hard to bring in a guy that wasn't in your training camp to be your backup center. So he's got that in his favor.
Yep. There was an interesting story yesterday. Our friend Selly tagged us in this and wanted our thoughts because there's talks of an unwritten rule that was broken yesterday in the NFL. So Willie Lampkin is a player that we have talked about quite a bit.
Love him.
As a very undersized center. Let's put it that way, Ramon. A center out of North Carolina in the pre-Belichick era of North Carolina, of course, who is a small dude. Like what? Like 5'10"?
He's 5'10". 5'11", maybe.
5'10" center, 5'11" center. Makes Jason Kelsey look like a giant in terms of how small Willie Lampkin is. So he was waived by the Los Angeles Rams, and he was waived with an injured designation. 5'11", 290. At the Senior Bowl, he weighed in at combine.
Yeah.
5'10" and 3/8, 279. For an NFL player on the offensive line, that's little. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles picked him up yesterday. A lot of talk about, in the NFL, there's an unwritten rule that teams don't claim waived/injured players as a courtesy so the original team can stash them on IR without losing them. Howie Roseman said, I don't care. What did you make of this? Are you familiar with this waived, injured, unwritten rule, Ramon? And should it be an unwritten rule?
When you asked me that question, it's like, is there an unwritten rule about claiming waive injured guys? I was just like, no, not that I know of. Like, I never really heard it because, Will, it never really happens. And then you told me who it was. You said it was Willie Lampkin. And I said, oh. Then you told me who did it, and I went, yep. He broke line. Teams do this type of stuff. We say this all the time, and this is exactly what it means. I'll stash a guy. I've seen guys have just a tweaked hamstring that's a 2-week thing in training camp, and next thing you know, you put them on IR to keep him for the year because you need the guy to develop. I look at Willie Lampkin's situation, it's exactly the same thing. I think the Rams, I would say I almost know the Rams probably did this to him to assure him, look, you're not ready to make our 53-man roster. We want to see you for the entirety of a year, watch you develop, see if you can handle the center position the way we need you to. Will you get stronger? Here's the other thing about the Rams situation. Well, they've lived this life before with an undersized guy. You know who he was? Mr. Aaron Donald. So they understand size don't mean a thing when it comes to can you play or can you not play in this league. And I was high on Willie Lampkin. I actually thought he should have gone drafted. He was a college All-American at 5'10", 270. The guy can play, but he's taboo because, Will, he ain't at minimum 6'2". So, yes, I would say this. Howie Roseman broke rank by jumping in and going to go grab him. I'm sure Sean McVay and his staff were trying to stash him to see if they can help develop him even more. I ain't saying Howie wrong, but you tripping is what I would tell you.
So Chris asks, why is this an unwritten rule with the change that a player can go straight to short-term IR before cuts now, like Tajay Spears, Ramon?
Because it's an investment. They were probably planning on putting him on the injured reserve so that they can watch him grow again. You don't have teams come in. Like, I guess the unwritten part of it is this, Chris. If you wanted him, you should have asked me to trade for him. You know, we use these tactics all the time. The sack that Brett Favre gave up to what's his name, with the straight hand. Like, you knew that was a give. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are certain things that you allow people to do in sports on the basis of, man, I love you, we love us, and we're going to keep this process the same. It's almost as if, and I would say this too, the tampering with like Nico. Like, you have some people that say, no, I'm not willing to cross that line. This is a line crossing situation. Nobody takes an injured player away from a team that's invested into him already.
Right.
Because it's one of those unspoken rules that I'm trying to hide and develop this guy.
Field Yates put it out there and said, a testament to what Philly saw from him in preseason to claim him while he recovers from whatever injury he is dealing with. Lampkin had been designated as waive/IR by the Rams. You don't see waived/injured players claimed very often. Now, this was a thing for the Giants and Patriots back in 2012 when Tom Coughlin was very public in how disappointed he was that New England claimed tight end Jake Ballard. So the Giants, after Jake Ballard had torn his ACL in the playoffs, took a calculated risk by waiving injured Ballard in order to sign defensive tackle Rocky Bernard back at the time. And then Bill Belichick of the Patriots claimed Ballard. And Coughlin was really mad about it, saying, like, we wanted to make room on the 90-man roster. This was back in June at that point. So this would have been OTA's time of year to say, we wanted that spot for someone else to come practice and needed that spot for somebody else to come here. But ultimately, not what ended up happening. You're right, though. They could have done short-term IR like what the Titans did with Tajay Spears and been able to do both here if the Rams really wanted to keep him. But it sounds like he'll be sidelined for longer than that, just 4 weeks. That's minimum on short-term IR.
It's just that it's like letting somebody over in traffic. Like, it's you don't do this the way it's being set up. And then the other part of it is, if we can be honest, is Howie that's doing it. It's Philly.
Classic Howie Roseman.
It's Philly's
because
GM.
we're talking about it, and he loves that.
Yes. And you know what he's doing right now in Philadelphia? He's sitting back with a grin on his face.
Rubbing his hands together saying, good.
I got him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the other part that gets me, though, well, I would say this, too. Kelsey and Lampkin are probably about the same. You know what I'm saying? But they got a starter at center. You know what I'm saying? Like, Philly's set at center for a while.
I don't feel bad for the Rams.
No, I mean,
if you wanted to keep him, just put him on short-term IR.
But that's very true. You are 100% correct in that. But nobody really does this for a player that's 5'11". You know what I'm saying? That you know is a developmental guy that I cut as injured.
So essentially what's happening is the same thing that happened to Traylon Burks.
Yeah.
Waived/injured. So teams have the ability to claim that player, but if they don't, then you revert back to that team's injured reserve. The way Traylon Burks was not claimed by anyone else in the NFL, and now he reverts back to the Titans' injured reserve.
I don't even see them keeping him. Their offensive line is so big, like Philly's, he doesn't fit their mold.
Coming up next, we shift gears once again back to Tennessee and Syracuse. Ramon, the first of many weekly visits with voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, is next. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Put Lee Company on your team and stay ahead of the game with home maintenance, repairs, and more. For as little as $14 a month, become a Lee Company Plus member and receive 4 annual visits to your home for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems. Even better, Lee Company Plus members receive up to 20% off on every visit and enjoy priority service. Learn more online at leecompany.com/plus. Platinum Home Protection starts with a Lee Company Plus membership, and you stay ahead of Mother Nature when you join Lee Company Plus. You get these 4 annual visits for just $14 a month, scheduled out And that way you don't have to worry about remembering to make that call to 615-567-1000. You've already got it scheduled. You've got Lee Company out there quickly when something goes wrong. Call them there, 615-567-1000, or head online to leecompany.com/plus. That's Lee Company, all you need. Oh, man, it's good to be back. Hearing this music on a crisp fall morning, Ramon Foster, vibes are high.
Yes, they are.
Here today in Hour 3 of Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, as we are pleased to be joined this morning, presented by Two Rivers Ford, our first weekly visit with voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, previewing a Tennessee football game. We're Montario Hardesty days away from football time in Tennessee. Mike, good morning. It is great to have you back on the show. How you doing this morning?
I'm very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for making time for us. We're so excited to have you on. Excited, Mike. I'm going to start here for the Mike Keith show to also make a return. You've got quite a star-studded lineup that may or may not include the sheriff, Peyton Manning, on the show today. Let the people know, if they are unfamiliar, where they can find this show and what you got coming up today, because this is going to be awesome as well.
Well, it's the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel and many of our Ball Network stations. We offer it as a radio show and as a streaming show on the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel. And if you follow the Vols, you should be a subscriber to the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel, because there's a lot of great stuff on there, including not only our program this afternoon from 2 to 4, but tomorrow the Everything Orange podcast. Sarah Detweiler sits down for the first extended interview with Joey Aguilar. So that's going to be good tomorrow. But yeah, Peyton Manning's on the show, Donnie Plowman's on the show, Josh Heupel's on the show, and I'm told now Danny White's going to be on the show too.
Ooh.
We also have something about, of course, Lee Corso's retiring this weekend. We have quite an incredible story related to a guest picker, the youngest guest picker ever in the history of the Lee Corso segment. We have found the person who did that, and they are going to be on the show. So we got a lot of stuff in 2 hours.
Fantastic.
Way to go, Mike. I mean, geez, man, slow down. Save
Thanks.
some of this for the rest of us.
Yeah, we were talking about what happens next week, because we're doing this show every week for like 36 weeks or something. We're like, so next week on the show, I mean, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. What are we going to do? People who have heard a Taylor Swift record is probably as close as we can get to that. But yeah, we got to do something else. So we're excited, but it's fun. I mean, we're having a really good time with the different things we're able to do, and the campus has gotten real involved in a lot of things along with the athletic department, and there's just a tremendous amount of synergy here. Period, which is a lot of fun to be part of this right now. Everybody on this campus is buzzing about a lot of things, but right now what they're buzzing most is the start of football season, because as both of you guys know, when you get within 48 hours, everybody's got a little twitch about them because they're ready for some ball.
No doubt, Mike. And before we go to ball, I do want to ask you one more of those type of questions before we get to Syracuse and just the Vols in general. What has been the adjustment or difference to you in dealing with students and student athletes versus professional side of this thing, too? It seems to me that they've gravitated towards you on campus, man, with the opportunities that you're giving them also in Knoxville.
Well, I thought I would come back to the college scene and that as a paid professional, I would make more than the athletes. But that doesn't turn out to be the case anymore.
It's changed.
It has changed. They're vastly different from what the overall outlook is. I mean, these, from when I dealt with college athletes back in the 90s to now, they're all more like Peyton Manning than what they were the normal college athlete back in the 90s. I mean, they're together. They know more about life. They know more about the outside world. And because of NIL, they're certainly interested in their own branding. They've grown up in quite a different world, and they feel comfortable walking up and just speaking. And I've just really enjoyed just talking with them in the lunch line or standing in the hall or, outside the athletic complex or inside the football complex. It's just really been a lot of fun. And I think that, to me, has been an adjustment that I didn't expect. I thought it would be a vastly different adjustment dealing with the college athlete, but they're much more grown up than what they were years ago. And so that's been a tremendous amount of fun. Now, getting used to the college game is way different, way different. And so much to learn about all of the different elements and the rules and those sorts of things. I've been watching rules videos for the past couple of weeks just to make sure that I'm up on how penalties are assessed and what certain things are, because it's quite a different game. So that's been real different. Just being on campus has been one of the 2 or 3 best parts of the job, because it's just fun to be on a college campus in 2025, especially this college campus.
Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, is our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. Mike, this is a difficult matchup to analyze with Syracuse because there is so much new on both sides of the ball for both teams. Where do you begin to evaluate where Syracuse can challenge Tennessee with a head coach in Fran Brown who knows the SEC, who's familiar with Josh Heupel's system and offense? But, Mike, we don't even really know what that offense wants to do, because as we know, Josh Heupel is going to cater this thing to the guys he has. We're about to find out the guys he has on Saturday.
It's a good question, Will. I think the big thing for me is that Fran Brown's the real deal, and his coaching staff is the real deal, and that they have unbelievable buy-in in Syracuse right now. That part of it, when you analyze the Orange roster, it's vastly different from a year ago, and they threw more than anybody in college football. They had a hard time running the ball. Their defense had some difficulties. They had some special teams breakdowns, but they brought in essence, a new team. I mean, they lost 21 guys. They had 21 transfers. Their best receiver, walked out at the last minute. Their starting quarterback is like Tennessee's. He came in May. So all of those things are real challenges, but you understand that they're going to be well coached, that what they're going to try to do is going to give them a chance to win the game. They're not coming in here saying, well, we're trying to build a program for 2026 and 2027 and beyond. They're trying to beat Tennessee. Because and they showed last year the ability to go beat people, winning 10 games. And so that's what I believe you're going to see out of them. I think they're going to try to play as fundamentally a good game as they can to get into the fourth quarter and give Tennessee a hassle. They're going to try to force Tennessee into mistakes. And, I think that they went out and got Georgia Tech's special teams coach, who ironically last year gave them trouble. So they've improved in an area already where, they had real difficulty a year ago. So are we going to see fake punts? Are we going to see halfback passes? Are we going to see – I think you can't anticipate anything, and you can also anticipate a team that will have real belief that they can walk into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and beat Tennessee because they believe in their coaching staff. Syracuse got this hire right. That's the number one thing that jumps out to me. Fran Brown is the real thing. And if Syracuse can hold on to him, they're going to be a real pain in the ACC for years to come.
Mike, what's it been like getting to know Joey Aguilar and watching him not only play quarterback, but become a leader in a really short amount of time with his teammates?
Well, the thing that jumped out to me about Joey Aguilar from the minute that I saw him is that he got what the job is. And I would see him, at the lunch table with all different sorts of people. He's sitting with defensive guys. He's sitting with offensive linemen. It's not an act. It's who he is. But he understood the responsibility that went with being Tennessee's quarterback even before he won the job. Now, let's just say this. That doesn't mean it's all going to work. That doesn't mean that if he goes out and plays poorly, that he holds on to the job and that everything's okay. What that means, though, is that he walked in with a mindset of, if you're the quarterback at an SEC school like Tennessee and you're 24 years old and the other quarterback left the building on April the 12th and they're in this situation, they need a guy to walk in and be the guy and act like the guy and have that sort of presence about him. Joey does that, and he does that very naturally with how he is as a human being. He's a nice guy. He's an easygoing guy. There's not a lot of muss or fuss with him. There's no diva. And so from that standpoint, he gave himself a really good chance. And then he went out and won the job with his play on the practice field. Now he's got to convert that to the game field. And I think the fact that he has an awareness of what this is, that he knows what Tennessee is, that he understands the expectation, I think that gives him a real chance. Big thing for Joey Aguilar is going to be taking care of the football. 2 years ago at App State, he had trouble with fumbles. Last year, he had trouble with interceptions. The biggest way Tennessee loses this game on Saturday is to turn the ball over. He's got to take care of the football. And that's what's being preached to him. His job on Saturday may not be the same job that he has against Florida and Vanderbilt in November. By that time, he may have had more of the offense. This weekend, the big thing for Joey Aguilar is operate the system, keep things down the middle, give yourself a chance to stay away from bad plays. And I think that's very important. I think because of what I've seen of him, I think he will get that. Doesn't mean he won't make a mistake here and there, but I think he will go out of his way not to try to do foolish things because, again, back to my original point, he gets the task.
He does. We're talking about Mike Keith, the voice of the Vols, this morning as we kick off this weekend in Atlanta. Mike, with that being said, too, Joey Aguilar doesn't have to do everything. I think the talent at UT is a little bit better than it is at App State, okay? With that, the running backs, man, Deshaun Bishop. We're talking about Peyton Lewis. We're talking about Star Thomas also. What's the expectation for those guys, man? If you could, start with Deshaun Bishop because I just saw a picture of him, and that boy like he hit the weight room, Mike.
Looks great. He's one of the leaders on the practice field in everything he does. And he really forced Peyton Lewis to step up his game in practice because you're not going to out-practice Deshaun Bishop. He's going to do everything he needs to do 100% because as a former walk-on, he got from the start that every rep he took was massive towards his career. Peyton Lewis, big star coming out of high school, recruited player, heavily recruited player. Maybe he didn't quite get that. Maybe he's like, well, it's about what you do in the game. And for a lot of guys, it's like that, not just Peyton. But for Star Thomas, it's kind of the same thing because he's been at different places. And so the level of practice between Bishop, Lewis, and Thomas has been tremendous because they get that they're fighting for reps in the game based on what they do in practice. Deshaun's the leader. I'll be surprised if he doesn't take the first snap. He's on scholarship now. There's an expectation of him. He's not the walk-on anymore. He's Tennessee's running back one for right now. Peyton Lewis is certainly going to challenge that. I think Peyton Lewis has star written all over. I think he is a superb-looking athlete who can do a lot of things. And then Star Thomas is a guy who can really do it all. He gets pass protection. He gets catching the ball. He understands this offense now. I think the Tennessee running back situation is in very good hands. I'll say it again, though. I'm also very excited about Dwan Morris out of Murfreesboro, Oakland. I don't know what kind of run he's going to get early in this season because of the three guys ahead of him. But there's some real excitement about him because of his overall pop and what he potentially brings. running back is not a concern for me at Tennessee right now. I'm knocking on wood because you certainly don't want to get anybody hurt.
No doubt. Mike, and also the theatrics of the game, the pregame that will happen, man. Two guys that you've covered, watched grow up and become pros themselves, man. But Keith Bullock and also Al Wilson are honorary captains. Mike Keith, what does that do, man, to set this thing off with those two personalities representing each side?
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. There's nobody who could represent either one of these programs any better for who they are or what they want to be. I had a chance to talk to Al about Keith, and we were together at a function 2 days ago, and Al's a huge Keith Bullock fan, as I am. And, I know we're going to be on opposite sides on Saturday, but, I love Keith Bullock till the day I die. And I think this Syracuse team is what I would guess Keith Bullock wants his alma mater to look like. Yeah. They've got an edge. They've got an attitude. They're scrappy. They believe they belong everywhere they go now. And to me, that's the type of thing that Keith always brought to our football teams in Nashville. He never expected to lose. And, Al Wilson, his last year, he didn't lose. So there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No doubt about it.
Mike, what's it been like preparing to have a play-by-play broadcast of a tempo offense? Just from me nerding out from the play-by-play perspective, Mike, I know that's got to be one of the difficult transitions and challenges for you. Just how have you prepared for that? I know maybe Tennessee is not just tempo as some of the stuff they ran last year with the 12 personnel, but what's that going to be like on Saturday?
I think it's going to be a real challenge because you're used to, outside of just 2-minute situations where teams are in the hurry up, most of the actual no huddle in the NFL is not really a hurry up. It's a get to the line, look things over, wait till the play clock goes below 15 and the headset's turned off. And, so really you've got 30 to 35 seconds between plays. I mean, if they have their way and the situation is right, and I don't know what Josh Heupel deems this situation right now, Will. I don't know.
Sure.
He hasn't shared with me if he thinks Tennessee can do this. But if they do, they run a play every 12 to 15 seconds. So, I've thought a lot about it. I've spent some time kind of going over it in my head, but I don't know that you can do it till you do it and you see it. And, that's a lot of the fear about this. Fear is probably not the right word. Apprehension
Sure.
is more of the right word, just to know what this is going to look and feel like. Also, from the Syracuse perspective, I mean, you can't really go back and watch them on tape because team isn't the same.
Right.
So we don't realistic. I mean, they may come out and go tempo. Who in the world knows? We're certainly going to find out.
Well, I know I speak for a lot of Vols fans, Mike, when I say we are so excited to hear this broadcast on Saturday. So pumped for you and Ramon taking the microphone for the first time. And, of course, Brent Hubbs, Jason Swain, the entire crew. You guys have an all-star crew that is ready to bring Tennessee football to the people. I'm going to have my old iPod Nano with the headphone in, one headphone in. I'm telling my friends right now who are listening, like, y'all ain't going to be talking to me as much as I am going to be listening to Mike Keith and Ramon Foster. Mike, so excited. We are so excited to have you on weekly and really appreciate the time this morning.
Thanks very much. See you guys.
All
See
right.
you, Mike.
There's Mike Keith with us this morning, brought to you by our friends at Volunteer Traditions. Getting ready for Tennessee and Syracuse.
Hear him speaking about the pace of the offense. I was like, yeah, imagine me that's got to pay.
I want to pick your brain on this from the broadcast perspective and get Ramon Foster's thoughts on a debut on the Vol Network microphones for week 1. At 2 games away, shy total days away from Tennessee football on Saturday. We'll get Ramon's thoughts on what it's going to be like Saturday coming up next. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Wherever you're heading to watch football this weekend, you can grab you some Scooters on the way there. Be caffeinated and ready to go. I already know. Tomorrow, on my way down to Atlanta, the Smyrna location of Scooters Coffee will be seeing me once again.
Got to see my guy.
Pumpkin cheesecake, cake bites, and a pumpkin caramelicious coffee. It already got us a win in Atlanta, albeit preseason, before Titans and Falcons. It can get us another one for Tennessee and Syracuse. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet, where you get outstanding cinnamon rolls warmed up for you, great coffee, protein smoothies, Red Bull infusions, you name it, they got it.
Tell him, Will.
Ramon, vibe check. How are we feeling before game one for you and Mike Keith? We just heard from Mike a minute ago. How are you feeling before Tennessee and Syracuse on Saturday?
What's fascinating is I'm speaking, because I can on this one from a fan's perspective. I'm excited, but I'm also of the same mindset. It's like, okay, you're going to have to control your emotions, which I've been told on social media and in person by fans of the Vols. Don't you dare control.
No, you don't.
That's been the one thing I've been told by people that know I have this position with Mike is, we want to hear the fan. Tell us the stories as if you are out there, too. And you know me, I get emotional about my squads, too. So I'm of the mindset, like, I was telling Larry Stone, who's going to be working with us also, he's helping produce this thing, man, and set us all up and get us on the right track. I was just like, he was just like, listen, just get the first one out the way. We ain't got no game plan other than we'll adjust after the fact. And I was just like, yeah. I was just like, man, I'm probably going to end up screaming over Mike from time to time. He was just like, that's fine. He's like, and here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to do something that's going to mess up. Mike is going to do the exact same thing. But just call the game as if you will want to be heard, and that's all I'm going to do. I got my pamphlet right here, my notebook that I'm writing down notes, because if they do go fast tempo every 12 seconds, the recall of what's happening
quick
has to be painted out. So I'm jotting down my notes because I need to be the voice for the eyes of the people who are listening.
I love it, man. I'm so excited.
I'm excited. But this game, though, as Mike was bringing up, like, Fran is going to have his team hype. This is the biggest sellout I would think they would have on the first game of the year in the South. And they're a team from up north. He's also a Georgia guy. He was the Georgia's defensive backs coach when they won the Natty. He's seen this hypo defense. I do want to see what his adjustments are going to be to try to slow this offense down or attack this offense too. And defensively, I can't wait to see the Vols defense go to work. I'm going to be real with you. I'm more excited about that than almost anything else. And what's unique about this situation is I am just like every other fan in this one. Probably every person in the United States that are watching the Vols. I hadn't laid eyes on Joey Aguilar.
That's true.
So this is going to be a new situation for all of us, but I'm looking forward to it.
Well, and honestly, too, I mean, both of these teams, and I know I just asked it to Mike a minute ago, it's hard to really break down the minutia of matchups and O-line versus D-line, receivers versus DBs, linebackers versus running backs, because there's just so much unknown about both of these teams. It feels like even with the Nico saga and Tennessee having the question mark at quarterback, I still know more about who's coming back at Tennessee than I do at Syracuse.
I agree.
What I know is that Fran Brown has a type and that he is a culture builder and a program builder that beat a really good Miami team last year and has the ability to beat this Tennessee team on Saturday night. What is the thing, or Saturday afternoon? What's the thing about Tennessee, Ramon, that you are most interested to see for the first time? What do you want to learn about this team that's not quarterback related?
That's not quarterback related. Can the defensive line and the front seven hold up that standard? Like, excuse me, good programs always have something good.
They reload.
Georgia defense.
It's time to reload for Ronnie Garner.
Clockwork. The skill players that are clockwork. We can name them out, right? So that to me is, can that front seven hold that standard and pull that line the exact same way the last few teams have under Tim Banks? Like, a lot of credit, and you probably going to hear me say this time and time again, is going to be towards Tim Banks and the defense and Rodney Garner and how they've gone about this and sustaining it. We've talked so much about this offense, the quarterback situation, and I'm going to be yelling at the top of the mountaintops because I ain't got to face them. Defense, defense, defense. Who was we had on the other day? Like, it's flagrant to not be able to, I think it's Mike Golick Jr., to not be able to play defense and have a running game in the SEC. You can't survive like that. Or you can't survive like that in college football in general.
I think I'm really interested to see Tennessee's run game. Can they, by committee, get close to what they had last year with Dylan Sampson? I don't expect Tennessee to be as good running the football as it was last year because I think that's an unreasonable expectation considering how good Sampson was. But the hope that I do have for Tennessee's run game, Ramon, is that I think Tennessee's offensive line is better than it was last year. That's not a conversation that I'm hearing nationally.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that break down college football and talk to important people who are in the know and podcasts and shows that I like, that's not a talking point I'm hearing a lot outside of us, outside of local. But Austin Price has been standing on that for a little while.
Yeah.
And Brent Hubbs and our VolQuest insiders have been telling us for weeks now, hey, this offensive line's got a chance to be pretty dang good. And you have been on this train as well, that the offensive line's got a chance to be pretty dang good. And if that's the case, Tennessee can be worse at quarterback and running back, talent-wise, and the offense can still take a step forward.
Yeah.
That's the area where I'm really interested. If I'm going storyline outside of Joey that I'm most interested in, Lance Hurd being healthy and having a full offseason at left tackle is a significant development that I think Ramon has flown under the radar a little bit because that's still a five-star talent who I think understands he's got an NFL future if he hits his talent level this year.
I'll be honest with you. You mentioned that about him. I'm excited about the three up the middle.
Yeah.
I'm Wendell Moore,
center guard triangle.
Sam Pendleton, and Jesse Perry. Jesse, I told you when I saw him when I went up there for the official visit weekend, I didn't even notice. I couldn't recognize him.
Looks the part.
He is not the high school kid that you guys saw years back.
Middle Tennessee Christian.
His friggin' neck and chest is so here. I was just like, oh, you've been working. And we've texted a little bit from time to time. He understands it too. And he's a Tennessee boy.
He is.
So he gets for the folks that love to see the Tennessee guys stay and do work here, he's proud of that.
The best Tennessee teams through history have had homegrown offensive lines.
Yes,
you know that better than anybody because you were a part of that.
Yes, sir.
You were a part of an offensive line that gave up one sack the entire season with the ones in the game in 2007 on a line that was largely local guys.
Local guys.
Including yourself.
Oh, looking forward to it, man.
I'm excited. I think if Tennessee is able to exceed their expectations this year and be as good as it was last year, it starts up front because there's no world where Tennessee is as good as last year and isn't better up front than they were last year.
The teams that gave them fits, I don't have a huge recollection on Stanford. Stanford ended up beating them 26-24 last year.
Talk about Syracuse.
Syracuse, it is. The team that ended up, I respect a ton. When you look at it, was it 3 losses for Syracuse last year? Pittsburgh, big-time defense. They prey
good
on
up
that.
front. That's what Pat Narduzzi always is.
Boston College, big-time defense.
Same thing. Yep.
Look at the rest of that crowd. I don't think Miami was known for
Miami
defense
couldn't stop
last
a
year.
nosebleed. They wasted Cam Ward because of it.
So that's where I think the separator, and that's why I'm looking at Tim Banks' side of the ball and like, come on, do that thing you do.
615-737-1045. College football returns tonight. One SEC contender got some bad news yesterday. Tell you what happened out of Alabama in Tuscaloosa yesterday coming up next.
It is 9:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Tennessee Titans yesterday named 7 captains for the 2025 season. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward leads it off. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley, running back Tony Pollard, defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons, safety Amani Hooker, linebacker Cody Barton, and long snapper Morgan Cox rounds it off. Today, Titans GM Mike Bergonzi will speak to the media in about an hour, coming up at 10 a.m. this morning, followed by practice that starts at 10:30, and then head coach Brian Callahan and select players will take over immediately following practice. You can, of course, hear those interviews right here on 104.5 The Zone and the Buck Rising Show. In other NFL news, per Jordan Schultz, the Cincinnati Bengals are signing former Minnesota Vikings guard Dalton Reisner. Reisner has allowed 0 sacks over the last 2 regular seasons per PFF. So more protection on its way to Cincinnati for all-pro quarterback Joe Burrow. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the 4th and final hour on your Thursday morning. Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee for 60 more minutes today. Until tomorrow when it is game day eve for the Tennessee football Volunteers. 615-737-1045. We'll catch up on a couple of your phone calls coming up here in a matter of seconds. Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, and Will Bowling. The Thursday 3 coming up in 15 minutes. Oh, we're so back. We are so back. Ramon, I've challenged myself this morning. Not only do I have 3 picks I feel very confident in.
Okay.
They are all 3 involving SEC teams this weekend.
All right, that gives me a little bit of safety then when it comes down to my picks, man.
Okay.
So, dude, I'm still shook by the conversation we just had coming on air. That is wild stuff.
That is for our ears and not for the people,
absolutely
unfortunately.
not.
You're right.
Jeez Louise. Thursday 3. I'm not losing this year.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
We'll see. We welcome Justin to the Thursday 3 today as well.
Yes, we do. What is it? Hawks? What was it? What's your nickname for? No. Save him for the next segment. Save him for the next
I created
segment.
my own little open.
What? You created your own open? What do you mean?
You have to wait
For the Thursday 3 or
Yes,
for
he did.
your bets?
for me.
Oh, my God. That's unfair. Oh, I want to know.
My name rhymes with something that with bets. Y'all's do not, so it kind of sucks to suck.
Will Bill?
He's already.
Will's Bills?
He's
I
already.
thought
I don't
about
know.
Will's Tills.
Yeah.
Tills?
Yeah.
Will's
Nah.
Thrills?
Ramon
Will's
is
Thrills.
like nothing.
Yeah,
Ramon's
Tones.
Ramoni. We're going to make you some Ramoni coming up on 104.5.
Nope.
The
Don't
Zone.
work. Nope. It don't work. Nope.
Mine's the only
I
one
love
that
the
really
effort, but it don't work. Not this one, man.
Ramon said, I don't see any scenario.
Look who it is in the chat, man. Young Savage himself, just waking up in where is he at? Cancun, I think. Why did I say it like that? That's just
You said it right. Cancun.
I did. I threw a little
You're
flair
excited.
on there. I am excited, but look at my dog. He finally up. Probably got a Mai Tai already.
Since Ramon is on vacation, he will not join us. At least I assume tomorrow. Do we
Savage
ever
won't.
confirm that?
No, I'm pretty sure he ain't answering international. He's
All right,
gone.
that's fine.
Yeah, he out of here. Rehab, he'll answer.
Keith Bullock will join us at 9:20 tomorrow morning.
Big bully. I'm looking forward to that one.
Slay, if you want to be on the show tomorrow, just send us a voice text. We'll play anything we need. Just let Justin know if he needs to drop any words in it. We'll be good to go.
Savage, no, leave all the words in there. He can't get fired while y'all. Can't get
We're not
fired.
going to put you to work, but if you want to encourage the people or encourage the Vols a little bit, we will always have room for Ron Slay on this show. Always.
I think he's making it back in time to make it to the game this weekend too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
I'll see you there then.
Yes.
Perfect.
Is there any better hype man for the Vols than fellow Ron Slay?
There's no hype man better just for anyone than Ron Slay.
Exactly. Hey,
If
what
you've
are we
got
talking
Ron
about?
Slay in your corner, then I pray for the person in the other corner.
Seriously, don't pray for him. Pray for the bear.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Alabama got some bad news yesterday. According to On3's Brett McMurphy, defensive lineman Tim Keenan will miss multiple games due to an ankle injury. Surgery will be required after the injury took place on Tuesday. McMurphy says he should be back at some point during 2025. The injury bug biting Alabama a little bit, Ramon, here at the last minute before the season begins. An offensive lineman who, according to Kalen DeBoer, has been very limited. Jam Miller, star running back, is expected to be out until the Georgia game, which is not good news. This is Alabama's captain. This is Alabama's star defensive lineman on a defensive line that, mind you, has some legitimate star power in terms of the guys who could have gone pro and didn't. That is a worry for Alabama to start the season. Maybe not against Florida State, but for the beginning of their 2025.
Yeah, it's again, you got to be able to play defense. They got Florida State coming up this upcoming weekend, so I think they should be fine considering all the trash that their quarterback has been talking this offseason. But you never want that to happen. You need depth in this league. You need to have the ability to rotate guys in and out. I think Tennessee is setting that precedence a little bit with having a big rotation, and I can see this being the case for Alabama too. But they have depth, though, Will. You having 3 different guys, man, that can play crucial parts for the Tide being out during the season, especially Jam Miller, who I think everybody was salivating on watching him kind of finish out the latter part of the season last year. Again, small-time stuff. I would almost guess this ankle injury is a high ankle, maybe a potential surgery thrown in there. At his size, though, it could take a little bit longer. But the beginning of the season, according to the new format, I guess the College Football Playoffs Committee is looking at, is going to be a little bit different. It's a matter of your entire resume. If he's back by the end, I don't want to call it a nothing burger because you want reps from your guys, especially your starters.
Sure.
But they'll be fine. Alabama's Alabama. They're deep.
How do you think they fare against Florida State this weekend? What stands out to you about that matchup?
This defense. The second year with DeBoer having his offense intact, I expect a jump from them offensively. I think they have weapons that Florida State can't get with. And then the talking matter of it.
Thomas Castellanos has done a lot of it.
I'll be honest with you, this is one of my picks. Bama, this ain't going to be nice. That's the way I look at this one. This won't be nice at all.
I think Bama covers that. It's not one of my picks, but I think that is going to be a rout, to be quite honest with you, for Alabama.
Yeah.
I believe in what they have going on this year in Kalen DeBoer's second season. I think Ryan Grubb is one of the most significant additions that a college football program made all offseason. Alabama is back to having legitimate national title hopes and aspirations this year. Now, they got to get high-level quarterback play.
Yeah.
But this is a return to the kind of Alabama roster that doesn't need A-level quarterback play to win a national title.
Yeah.
It feels like they need B to B+ from Ty Simpson, and they can be good enough everywhere else around him to be the last team standing when it's all said and done.
Yeah. This is a lot to a little is the way I'm looking at this situation coming up with Florida State. Castellano, I love the confidence. I mean, he's Diego Pavia of the ACC at this point.
He is.
Yeah, so just don't do it against Bama.
Comment on YouTube says you can never overlook FSU.
We're not.
No, we are. Because Thomas Castellanos is too short. It's easy to look over him.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm not short-shaming people this morning just because I'm 6'1". But I do think that they, as a program, just have no identity. Because they have invested way too much in the transfer portal for me. Mm-hmm. They got bit by that last year. Mm-hmm. They did it again this year. It's not to say that you can't build a winner by having a portal-heavy roster. That's not the point. It's that there's a wide range of good to bad that you can be with that many portal players. When you have guys that you haven't identified for your system since they were in high school that maybe care a little bit more about the program they're playing for because they've been committed to it since they were 16 while they were still committing to prom dates and homecoming dates. That matters a little bit, Ramon. I think that we have enough evidence now to say there has to be a balance between portal and high school. And FSU is still a little bit too much on the portal side for me.
They are, and Thomas Castellano is 5'9".
Yeah, it's easy to overlook.
My youngest son is that tall. Okay? Miles is
Your
5'9".
oldest son is a foot taller than 5'9".
That's what I'm saying. Like, and the height don't matter because Kyler Murray has taught us that.
It's 11 inches shorter than 6'8" Ron Slay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, legitimately. But what we're getting at is this. And he's had over 1,100 rushing yards and all those types of things, too. Like, he has to run the ball this weekend. But he's also been matched up against a team that's got some monsters over there for all the things that Florida State has brought in.
Yeah, 2024 Florida State won 2 football games. If you're saying don't overlook FSU, maybe you're related to one of the players on the team.
He gonna have to run. He gonna have to make it exciting.
Paul is up next on the phone, 615-737-1045. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning. It's great to be alive and be in Tennessee. Let me get right to it right quick. Now, look, I'm older than you gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Tennessee football for 40 years. And I know a lot about Tennessee football, Will, Big Ragu. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a big part of my life. And I've been asked about when are we ever going to get back to like we did in the middle of the late 90s. And I just said, we're not there yet. We're not there yet, but we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something right now, Will. You made a point about that offensive line. We are more talented. Don't be no fool. We're more talented, and they know it. We need to get them to play together as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to talk about is this Tennessee running backs we got up there. This Tennessee team this year is like an 89 or 1990 squad up there. We had a couple of running backs back up there then by the name of Chuck Webb and Reggie Cobb. And Johnny Majors ran wild with them. And teams feared us. And that's the kind of team that we got this year. You better fear that Tennessee running backs because they're coming at you. They're hell on wheels. And they're coming at you, brother.
Tell him, Paul.
And listen to me. Nico stabbed us in the back. Yes, he did. But you know what? There's an old saying, Will. Everybody down at the funeral home ain't dead. There's a lot of them visiting and just walking around, brother. We're going to be ready this year. Put your orange on. Put your blue on. God bless y'all. Go Balls and count up.
Come on, baby.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, sir. Paul.
Outstanding.
Ooh.
Not everybody at the funeral home is dead.
Not everybody
There's an old
dead.
saying in Tennessee, probably in Texas. I know it's in Tennessee, that says, fool me once. Shame on
you.
Shame on you. You fool me, can't get fooled again.
Can't get fooled again, Paul.
That's what I thought Paul was
I'm
gonna
here
go
for
into.
it, Paul.
East Nashville Ed, next up. Hey, Ed.
What up, Ed?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, I'm excited about this weekend. But listen, and I'm not being critical here, but Will, I need your opinion. I certainly want Ramon's opinion as former offensive lineman. And this is, look, Josh Heupel, love what he's doing at UT, guys. But I need your opinion on this. I've watched this since he's been there. I watched it at UCF. I don't like this hurry-up, speed-up offense. I've never seen it work in the SEC. In the SEC, at some point, you got to line up, you got to run your play, and they're either going to stop you or you're going to be successful on the play. Will, what is your opinion on our – so there's a difference, I guess, between hurry-up and speed-up, right?
Yeah, right.
I don't have a problem in getting the play in fast, but if you run a play, you don't make substitutions, the other team can't make a substitution. I have seen literally over the last, and especially the Arkansas game last year, we lost that game, in my opinion, because of the speed up, hurry up that Josh Heupel runs. We had too many offensive linemen not in position. These are big guys, man. I mean, and to get them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
we got it, Ed.
I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go on this.
Okay.
Joe Milton. Look, Hooker was perfect for that. Joe Milton, this big old guy doing a hurry up, I just thought, I don't know. Maybe Aguilar, we don't know enough about him. Maybe this is my year where we're not going to do that because he's not, maybe he's not the hurry up kind of guy. But I want your opinion, really, on that same.
Thank you, Ed. We appreciate the call. We got to keep moving as we are up against a break here. But I don't believe that was an issue last year because this team didn't go fast last year. This team was 12 personnel, grind it out, run the ball. Ramon, they didn't go up-tempo last year. What I will tell you, though, is that to the point about this doesn't work in the SEC, it worked for 10 wins in 2022 where you were a knee injury from Hendon Hooker away from maybe playing for the college football national championship at the Final Four. So tempo is an equalizer to make up for a talent gap. And it's just that, Ramon. Josh Heupel, if he doesn't feel like he needs to do tempo to make up for the talent gap he has to opposing defenses, he won't do it.
No, he won't.
And I think you're going to see somewhere in between 2022 tempo and last year's slow it down this year. I think you're somewhere in the middle in 25.
Well, I will give you comfort is this. There is a gap for error. There's a gap for it not working for you, and that's defensively. But what I will say is this, though, too, is I think that's why a lot of credit has to be given to the other side of the ball, to Rodney Garner, his crew that he has, and developmental side of the defensive line, the heavy rotation that they have. What is it, 8, 9, 10 guys that they're rotating in? They're set up to defend against the quick 3 and out at times. But as Will said a second ago, when you're eating in that offense and the defense can't sub out, and now there are rules in place to where defensive players cannot go to the ground and their team not have to take a timeout. This year, there will be penalties to this. This year, teams have to athletically move on and off the field. They have, and we got it called against us last year, they have set it up to where this offense somewhat gains its advantage back.
I like it. Coming up, the Thursday 3. It returns next. Ramon and Will at 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooter's Coffee, and Ramon Foster is suited up and ready to go for the season. You got your helmet on.
I do. I have my helmet on today, man.
It's got some, what do I see? I see some Kentucky blue paint on there.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of black paint.
Yes, we're so back.
Maybe some Vanderbilt Commodores whose helmets bled on yours a little bit.
Yeah, I'm missing one of the decals on here because I gave it away. I couldn't give away both of them at the Senior Bowl. I mean, at the Shrine Bowl. I was a Shrine Bowl guy.
Yeah,
and we were trading out decals. A lot of guys wanted the tee. I had some extra ones, and then I got down to the nitty gritty. There was a guy I ended up knowing, Lawrence Sidbury was his name, out of Richmond, and he wanted one, so we traded out decals, man. So
that's awesome.
I'm ready. Damn, this thing is heavy. God, my neck is
I always wondered how those decals, like where those decals came from for the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, well, guys trade them out. The equipment staff will usually send guys with some extra ones because you trade them out. Nice. It was some guys that played with them, like 5 of them on their helmet. Was like, no, absolutely not. I'm playing with just a power tee on mine. Y'all better get it together. But I did trade out my decals to some guys though. I got rid of a lot of stuff recently too.
Did you?
I did. Namely, my doggone my knee braces, the Don Joys.
Okay, all right.
I can't believe I used to wear this thing, man.
I still have held on to all my track gear.
Oh.
Yeah, strap that chin strap. Come on, you're ready to make some picks.
Hell yeah.
That is
lose.
I don't see any stereo of that. My Tennessee track Nike gear just became a lot more valuable now that obviously Adidas is coming back next year. But that's the thing. I've got a drawer of just all the crap, for lack of a better. It doesn't even fit me anymore, but I wear like 3 of the shorts.
Listen, you ain't wrong. I can't believe. Well, I need to do some neck muscle exercise.
Well, while Ramon does some neck raises, let's go quickly to Uncle Bob, who has called in to talk Vols this morning. Hey, Uncle Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for taking the call. Ramon, just you don't need any luck. Just wish you the best this weekend. You'll do great. I love radio. Grew up with John Ward and Bill Anderson, so looking forward to it, and God bless. Oh, nickname. You don't need a nickname. I think of the movie Scarface. What was it? Just say my name, Ramon. All right.
Yeah.
God bless y'all. Love you. Bye.
You too.
All right, thank you,
safe, Uncle Bob.
Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah. Duck says the helmet looks yellow-orange. Well, this thing is a little faded, is what I'm telling you. It's been a while since
been loved.
Yeah, it's been loved on, is what I would tell you, man.
All right. Well, we're back. The Thursday 3. Again, considering this is a disclaimer we're going to have to give on the front end. Considering the roles of both Ramon and I around the National Football League, not putting our real money on this is our disclaimer on this. These are picks against the spread or totals at the time of when we make the pick of what the number is. Those are the rules. We will come up with some kind of reward/punishment. Maybe there is a Scooter's Coffee kind of prize for one of us, whoever wins this. I, as the defending champion, will maybe help our friends at Scooters and our guy Aaron pick whatever the prize is. We'll figure that out. We'll get to that point. Ramon's taking off his helmet now. He's getting serious.
I'm just going to sit it on top of my head like I'm on the sideline. Like I'm on the sideline. Well, listen, you always keep your helmet on you, okay? You never know when the coach going to call you
helmet
in the game.
On and powder dry.
I'm saying in your hand or on your head.
That's exactly
Only
right.
places where we're at with the helmet thing, man.
So, Justin, we will let our newest competitor within this go first, also because you have made yourself some kind of intro for this.
Yes, very well. If you go with me for these Thursday 3s, you're also going with Hawks Locks. Hawks Locks. All right, so let's get started.
That was good.
We will each give our picks. So you'll do a pick, Ramon will do a pick, then I'll do a pick, and then we'll go in that order.
That was quick and easy right there, Hawk.
All right, let's start off with a Saturday morning kickoff on SEC Network with Toledo and Kentucky. Toledo is getting 9.5 points. They are the underdog. Toledo last year dominated fellow SEC opponent Mississippi State in Starkville, 41-17. Toledo is set at quarterback with Tucker Gleason in his 4 seasons, throwing for over 4,100 yards. Kentucky on a big downward trend the last few years, and their roster's got questions. Transfer quarterback. I like Toledo covering that 9.5 points and possibly even getting the outright win.
I like it. First pick for Justin, Toledo plus 9.5. That is a solid start.
Solid start.
For our newcomer, Justin Hawkins.
Look at Hawk, man. Hawk's locks. Okay, then.
You already know.
All right.
I like it.
For me, man, I'm going because it was referenced to me more than anything. But this East Carolina, North Carolina State game. Bert said the Carolina games are never like that big of a spread. I'm looking at Concepcion also being gone now, the wide receiver.
At Texas A&M?
Yes, at A&M. I don't know if they're going to have the firepower to just beat ECU. ECU was one of those sleeper teams. Just on the basis of my love for Robert Walsh here, I'm taking plus 13.5 as it stands right now, East Carolina.
Okay. East Carolina taking on NC State. You will get then a start tonight, because that game is this evening, 6 p.m. I don't think I'd be on the other one of that one, but that's okay.
That's
okay.
why it's called betting.
That's why that is fine. That is absolutely fine. ECU at NC State. You are on the more challenging side of the spread because plus 13.5 is minus 102. Which means minus 13.5 is minus 120. So there's worse odds of that happening. But you said I don't need the odds.
I don't need the odds.
Give me the Pirates. All right.
Let the boys eat.
I like it. Since Justin already covered it, I am going to also take Toledo plus 9.5.
Really?
At Kentucky. I did the same research. Justin pretty much bar for bar took exactly what I had down for this. One thing that is interesting, revenge game for former Kentucky and Ohio State running back Chip Trayanum, who is the Toledo running back now, was with Kentucky. Kentucky is expected to start transfers at quarterback, running back, left tackle, right guard, center, right tackle, and 2 receiver spots. And that's just on offense. David Gusta, the Washington State transfer, and McKee's Humphrey Grace, the South Dakota transfer, both excellent additions on the Kentucky defensive line. Top 2 transfers in this entire Kentucky class. They bring in Cam Olds from Kent State, Sam Green from USC, to a pass rush that was not good last year. 64th nationally in sacks per game. I just think that it's going to take a little bit more time for Kentucky to mesh and gel as a team with all of the newness. And like Justin said, Tucker Gleason.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns since coming over from Georgia Tech. He can run, 7 scores on the ground last year. I think that's going to be a popular upset pick, and I don't hate it myself on Toledo. I'd sprinkle that on the money line as well. I think they could pull off the upset. I think Kentucky's the worst team in the SEC.
Dang.
I think Kentucky
State?
is over what?
I mean, below State?
Mississippi State?
Yeah.
I don't think Mississippi State's going to be that bad.
I was just wondering because State was bad last year.
Well, if Blake Shapen stays healthy, I believe enough in Jeff Lebby, kind of like we talk about with Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
That offense makes up a little bit of the talent gap. Kentucky's doesn't. Kentucky actually worsens their talent gap because they're running a pro-style offense that works when you have big linemen and good running backs, and I don't know if they have either.
Right. Dang. Sucks to be them.
Yeah, it does. I think they're the worst team in the conference.
Experience over inexperience.
You say that.
Well, I mean, they have experience at quarterback. Zach Calzada's my age, but he's not good. Wolf.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
Former Texas A&M, Auburn, and Incarnate Word quarterback. He is a 7th-year senior who was in college the same year I was in college. He was a freshman in 2019 when Joe Burrow was the starting quarterback of the LSU Tigers.
Man's got to be a millionaire with his NIL deal, even at his level.
At Kentucky? Does he play shooting guard, too?
He's a thousandaire.
100,000 there.
He has tens of dollars in his NIL budget. No,
That's tough.
He probably does have some money in his NIL budget. Pick 2, Justin.
All right, let's go tonight, actually, on ESPN, 8 p.m. kickoff with Nebraska, minus 6.5 versus Cincinnati. This is basically a home game for Nebraska. They're playing at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Last year, Nebraska had their first winning, or I wouldn't say a winning season. They had at least 6 wins and making a bowl game since 2016. Also, add in sophomore quarterback Patrick Mahomes Jr. Dylan Raiola. He threw for 2,819 yards last year, 13 touchdowns. Also had about 11 picks, I believe. Cincinnati, they've not made a bowl game since 2022, so Cincinnati's on the downward trend, where Nebraska, I think they're on the upward trend. I'm going to give them this 6.5. I think they're covered. I think they're going to win by a couple touchdowns. Also Cincinnati, last year to end the season, 3 road games, did not cover any of them. So I like Nebraska to cover in Arrowhead.
I like that pick. I almost made it myself. Except their end zone looks terrible.
They fixed it.
No, not really,
Well,
because it
kind of.
still looks terrible. So did you see this yesterday? Nebraska's end zone was like not finished.
No.
And so it was very faded in Arrowhead Stadium. And then there was like a community note of like, oh, well, it's just not done yet. And then they showed the final picture. Still looks like trash. You can still see Chiefs very much under it. We need to have a dialogue about NFL end zones for college games.
Are they trying to make this a thing, too?
It's 2025. We have too much. Yes, they are. There's too much technology to still be able to see the NFL logo underneath the college logo. What are we doing?
Just so
Whoever
you
made
don't
this
like them.
Cincinnati logo just needs to do the Nebraska one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Ramon, pick 2, please.
Pick 2 is the one that's been talked about a good bit, man. It is this Alabama versus Florida State. You mentioned a second ago with all the portal guys they have, and Mike Norvell, the coach that he is trying to find a way to expedite wins and relevancy again in 2025, well, the modern era of football as it stands right now. Ended up firing his defensive coordinator this year and brought in Tony White. I just don't think with them they hit every position on their team in the transfer portal. That's a lot of newness with new coaches. And you got stability in the Bama roster. Same way you said you felt about Texas's staff and their ability to stay together and outcoach anybody else. It's the same way I feel about this. The spread on this one, I think it was at 13 points, 13 and a half points.
13 and a half points
I think
for
Bama
Alabama.
doubles that.
Oh, okay.
Like Thomas Castellanos being what he is as a quarterback, I almost feel like he will miss portions of this game because of his legs and how they would physically try to beat him down. Florida State don't stand a chance in this one, my personal opinion.
Thomas Castellanos, also known as Temu Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
What's the trash talk?
Yeah, I got Bama on this
Doesn't
one.
fit.
I like the pick. I only didn't make it because it is still Gus Malzahn against Alabama. Gus Malzahn has burned the Alabama defense enough times, albeit under different coaching staffs, but I don't know, man.
He's like Coach Klein with the playbook.
He puts that sweater vest on, and something just weird happens when he coaches against Alabama.
I feel you.
That's the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause about that. My second pick, I like Clemson to cover 3.5 against LSU. LSU has not won. This is how long it's been, Ramon. LSU's not won a week 1 game since Zach Calzada was a freshman in 2019. I just think Clemson's defensive line is going to be so nasty against that new LSU O-line that Garrett Nussmeier is going to be asked to do too much. Caden Durham in the LSU run game, major question mark, and if they can get that better this year in order to take a little bit of pressure off their pass game, I don't think they do it week 1. I like Blake Baker a lot in the LSU defense, but ultimately I trust more of what Clemson has at receiver in Antonio Williams, Bryant Wesco, and TJ Moore. New look secondary for LSU. There are question marks. I don't know, Ramon. I'm taking probably too big of a risk just because I really want to have an interest in this game beyond
forcing yourself.
beyond just wanting to watch it, obviously. But I like Clemson. I just think in that stadium, I think it's Clemson by a touchdown at least. Give me the Tigers that are wearing orange.
I would take that one too.
Justin, your final pick, please.
Let's go another ESPN matchup. It'll be Georgia Tech, the 4.5-point favorite versus Colorado in Boulder. We don't know what Colorado is. No Shedeur Sanders, no Heisman winning trophy winner with Travis Hunter. There's a lot of question marks with Deion Sanders and what that Colorado offense is. So I'm taking Georgia Tech. They've got the experience bringing back. They're bringing a lot of 2024 players. Of course, you got Haynes King at the quarterback. He's the last 2 years at Georgia Tech, he's thrown for over 2,000 yards since coming over from Texas A&M. They won 7 games last year under head coach Brent Key. They beat Florida State in the opener. They beat Miami. They lost to Georgia in 8 overtimes. The writing's on the wall for Georgia Tech, in my opinion. I take them at the 4.5, but I also think they're going to win by more than that. At least a touchdown.
All right. That's the only pick you've made I don't love, but I understand your thought process. Georgia Tech, a popular dark horse playoff pick as well, Ramon Foster.
Yep, I thought about that one.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Also, no more Ralphie, as Taylor points out on the YouTube chat. Ralphie just doesn't really want to run anymore, which I can relate to on a spiritual level.
I feel
because
that.
I also don't really want to run anymore. Ramon, your final pick, Thursday
Last
3, week 1.
Plus 7.5. I mean, minus 7.5. South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Ooh, Beaver Bowl.
Yes, I'm taking South Carolina on this one, man. Again, you mentioned Dylan Stewart, and I think offensive linemen shiver a little bit, man. Not only just that, Nick Harbor's going to have the ability, along with Mazio Bennett, being a threat to any defense that they see with their starting quarterback, man, this year at South Carolina. Like, legitimately, I'm looking at this situation and saying South Carolina, as much as I like to side-eye them from time to time, Shane Beamer's got a squad there. With Sellers at quarterback, he could be the better polished version of what Anthony Richardson was supposed to be if he goes on and do what you want him to this year. Or what we think he's going to. Defensively, they put players in the draft year after year. South Carolina deserves a little bit more spotlight on what they got going on in Columbia. Somehow it doesn't happen. But he's got NFL quality players at every level on almost every position on his team this year. South Carolina, give me the minus 7.5.
Kip, I
I
don't
ain't
have a good
even have
read
to
on
talk
that
about VTech. I mean, at this point, they're slated
big year
to be,
for that coaching staff.
They got another, week 2 against Vandy at that point, too.
That's coming up as well.
Yep.
They're playing tougher SEC schedule in Missouri.
Oh, wow.
That's not true. I'm just joking. Missouri also plays both those teams, I think. My final pick, I'm going to do something really stupid, but it's my gut. Texas plus 2.5 at Ohio State. I think Texas beats Ohio State in the horseshoe. I'm going against one of my favorite rules in don't bet against a home dog, but I'm going to. And I'm also being really stupid because the last time I bet on a team that tries to go by UT in the horseshoe, it turned out really poorly for me. But I just think Texas has reloaded enough in the trenches to force Julian Sayin to be so uncomfortable that they've got enough to win this game. I don't know. I worry about Ohio State's depth on the defensive front. I worry about the amount of turnover that team had from last year, and I trust Texas's coaching staff. That's just really what it comes down to. Yeah. This is a staff game where Sarkisian and Kwiatkowski are, to me, more of a known commodity than Hartline and Patricia. As coordinators, those are two good coaches. I got to see it. And I got to see Julian Sayin go up against a nasty Texas defensive front. So give me Texas University. Give me Tex to cover 2.5. Plus 2.5.
Tex, baby.
Yep. All right. Thursday 3. There you go. Week 1 in the books. Justin's got Toledo plus 9.5 at Kentucky, Nebraska minus 6.5 against Cincy,
and
Georgia
reminder,
Tech minus 4.5 at Colorado.
Hawks lost.
Couldn't wait until I was done. ECU plus 13.5 at NC State. Bama minus 13.5 at FSU for Ramon. South Carolina minus 7.5 in the Beamer Bowl. I'm taking the Toledo pick, Clemson, and Texas against the spread. We'll wrap up the show with some Titans roster moves coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Good people, I always give y'all the website because I tell you, go check with them to learn more about them or use them. Well, guess what? I used the website the other day, man. They're coming over to the house next week, man, to help me reset my cameras around the house and also install a new camera doorbell. These are the things that Hiller can and will do for you, man. But I always tell you, if you have a plumbing problem, HVAC problem, or like me, an electrical emergency from time to time, you need somebody to come through, reach out to Hiller. They're just good. They're prompt. They usually have an easy booking schedule, and the best part about it is when they're on their way, they will send you a picture and a link of the tech that is coming to your house so you can track them in real time. They told me a time, but they'll also send me the link so I can see where they are on the map. They've been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated. Their motto is, happy you will be or the service is free. Trust me, if you don't like it, they will make it right. They'll either fix it for you or simply give you your money back, man. So to do like I do, to learn more about Hiller or to book with them, simply visit happyhiller.com.
Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show this morning on Zone TV as well. Going to get you out of here in just a moment because coming up in 10 minutes, Tennessee Titans general manager Mike Borgonzi will speak to the media, and you will hear it live as the Buck Rising Show begins. So we're going to get out of here a little bit early this morning. Brian Callahan speaks as well at noon. Practice today at 10:30. I will be over there to tell you what is happening and what's going on. I can tell you that there has been a roster move, Ramon.
Already?
Yes. The ones we expected.
I actually like to be surprised when you tell me these types of things. I hadn't seen it. Somehow, I don't know what kind of alerts you got coming to your phone, but you get them more than I do. And I'll be like, really? And I think people think I'm tripping.
Take
like,
the surprise out your voice.
I'm genuinely surprised as y'all are when Will drop these little nuggets, man. What you got for me now?
Well, you already knew them, other than one. There's one small nugget that you've not yet had. Corey Levin and Clay Webb have been signed to the Titans practice squad officially.
All right.
And defensive back Sam Webb has been added to the practice squad as an exception designation. Joins the Titans practice squad after spending time with the Raiders in 22 and 24 and the Panthers in 23. 29 total games of NFL experience. He was a UDFA with the Raiders in 2022. He also attended Missouri Western. How about that? We got 2 Griffins on the team.
That's what I'm talking about.
The Titans pandering towards Missouri Western fans.
Shout out to Peter.
Between Ravenel and Webb, he attended Missouri Western from 2017 to 2021.
It's the most I've ever heard Missouri Western.
Yeah, how about 2
life.
Missouri Western shout-outs on the show this morning?
Are they going for North Dakota State at this point, man? Like, at this point, we're in the thick of it down here in Nashville.
Maybe Mike Borgonzi's got a good Missouri scout, considering he came from Kansas City. Who's to say? Let's go to Dylan for the final call. Dylan, we got to be quick because we are almost out of time this morning, but go ahead.
What up, Dylan?
Hey, guys, I'm sorry. I called back last week talking about Jeremiah Smith, and just the other day heard Cam Ward mentioning his relationship with Jeremiah Smith and trying to get him to come to Miami. So I think it's all manifesting, guys. Jeremiah Smith to the Titans 2027, baby. Here we go.
Hey, not if a lot of the fan base continues to tweet about getting a stronger backup quarterback. I loved it. I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole.
Let's be honest, though. I'd love to have Jeremiah Smith, but I don't know if I want to lose all the games it's going to take in 2027.
He's not eligible
Jeremiah Smith
this year.
No. Yeah, he's not. He's eligible. That's what I'm saying. 2027 NFL draft is when Jeremiah Smith will come out.
Yup, he's not even eligible.
He's a true sophomore this year.
Could he pull a No, he can't pull a Maurice Claret.
What do you mean?
He tried to. Remember, Maurice Claret came out as a sophomore and tried to sue for it. And then he ended up going down that spiral and never really, now he's out of it. Yeah. Claret tried to do it.
Yeah, I don't see Jeremiah having any scenario of that. So.
No.
Coming up, the Buck Rising Show. Mike Borgonzi speaks with the media at 10 o'clock. Brian Callahan at noon. Tomorrow morning, Ramon Foster, we will be joined by Brent Hubbs for a game day preview of Tennessee-Syracuse. And then we will get Syracuse's own Keith Bullock at 9:20. Was good on the Buck Rising Show yesterday. We'll run it back with Bully tomorrow morning. That is your Friday morning. Looking forward to it.
Good people, remember at all times as y'all battle on social media, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.
Uh-oh.